Chills, trills, kills.
It's the wrong franchise, Monokuma, go away. Imagine knowing we're not playing Danganronpa. Oh well.
Oh well, back to his cage.
Yeah, that was easier said than done. Oh well, can do that later. Welcome in everybody, happy Friday. Welcome in Skinner Curds and being first, second and third. Nice. Bit much, but nice.
Congrats on
hope
everything.
you can still hear us, thank you for the Lord. Welcome in Psycho. I swallowed, I will tell you exactly why in a moment, why I did it like this. Thank you Mame for the resub. Love.
Love.
Welcome in everybody, how are you all doing?
But wait, why did the curse strike again?
Because we took forever to actually go live.
Did we?
Yeah, you took forever.
Oh, excuse me.
So two things, in order this time. Why did Jack swallow so weird a moment ago while talking? Because earlier today, while I did absolutely nothing, I was just standing there looking at my phone. And then I breathed through my nose. And suddenly, somehow, a tiny fleck of spit that had collected in my mouth, as it does, I don't know how that works for other people, but for me, usually saliva collects in my mouth at some point, flew into the back of my throat and gave me a super hard coughing fit. Like so hard, I still have the tiniest bit of a headache from it. It's not bad. It's like a 1 out of 10. I still feel it. So I'm going to be super careful about swallowing today. And if there's a choice between still saying something and swallowing first, I will swallow first. Because I'm getting into the age where just breathing can hurt me, apparently.
Finally I get to say things. I have nothing to say.
Beautiful. Beautiful. First you insinuate that I don't allow you to speak, which, great.
That's because sometimes you keep talking.
Yeah, like the sound of my own voice. When you do have the entire room and you go... The other thing, I was very mean to Tifa for the last 20 minutes. I yelled at her quite a bit.
Okay.
Because Tifa was doing an extraordinarily shitty job during the sound check. And when she was like, why do you talk to me like this? I don't talk to you like that. And I was like, yeah, because you make me. Because when I ask you to do it properly, you don't do it. So I start sounding real annoyed.
And then we rewatch it and I'm like, look at what an asshole you are.
And I'm like, yes, because you make me. To be fair, full disclaimer, I understand what she means because the way I spoke to her wasn't like I'm talking right now, but it wasn't actually mean. Like at work, I usually talk the way that Tifa complained about. And I don't get told by people that I'm behaving like a dick. But,
usually people don't tell you that directly.
Oh, people have told me that directly. Yeah. Thankfully, I am blessed with having amazing colleagues, and when I do things that they don't like, they tell me. I'm super thankful for that because I understand that that's not the easiest thing to do, but getting feedback is important. So, case in point, would you like to do a live reenactment of a sound check?
Sure, wait. It started like that.
So, it starts with her doing stomach sounds. And the thing is...
Now I started. No.
You are disgusting, Tifa.
I have stomach acid.
Tifa noises. No, the thing is, it usually happens. I'm assuming it happens because of when we eat versus when we start streaming. But usually, this doesn't happen until 10 minutes before the stream. And I've asked Tifa, is it nerves? Is it like butterflies in your stomach? Do you not enjoy streaming? Is it like something you're stressing out about? And she said no to all of these things.
I think at this point it's just like stomach memory.
Yeah, fuck you.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, so Tifa starts like this while I'm trying to do a sound check. And then I say my usual line, which is anything I want, because I'm not the problem with sound checks. And then Tifa did the following. You were yawning at first. You were coming off of a yawn.
I came off of the yawn. Then I did another. That.
Yes, and then coming out of that you said your line. And how did you say it?
If a giant and a dwarf are together, they might be pregnant by men. Like that, basically.
She always says that line, and she always says this line specifically on my request, because when Tifa does it in this particular voice, she actually goes from low enough, like bass level, to high enough to where she sometimes goes when she gets more excited or when I annoy her. But if she does it while yawning, I don't get the same bass and I don't get the same high. So I told her, yeah, do that again. And then Tifa said,
why do I need to do it again? You can just use the second line, which was perfectly fine.
And then I told her, because you are effectively deaf and I do the sound. And I'm right, so do the line again. I did it with a little bit more tempo in my voice.
And then I redid the line.
But effectively I did what I said what I just said. Like, no, you're useless, I'm doing the sound, you do the line again. That's how I said it. And then Tifa gave me 15 minutes of, you're acting like a dick. No, Tifa, I have standards.
So yeah, that's the behind the scenes of today.
Yes, nobody asked, but now you know anyway. How is all of you guys' Fridays going?
Nobody did indeed ask, so I'm not sure where it came from.
From inside of me. 99% of the times I say things on stream, it's because I really want to. Not because anybody makes me. It's 1% reacting to the stuff you're saying and doing, and 99% because in my head it's necessary.
Okay.
I'm an independent person like that.
Well, that's a day in the life of our pre-stream arguments.
Yes.
About the sound check.
Indeed. I learned a new word. And I want to go into a small story about this, because then I can use the word and then you will maybe learn a new word and then we can all use it together and it's going to make us collectively more loquacious.
A new word.
Yes, like I'm using loquacious because it came up once in Higurashi.
Yeah, you've used it an awful lot ever since then.
Yeah, because if I keep using it, it becomes part of my repertoire.
Nobody wants the word loquacious in their repertoire.
I'm a loquacious linguist, that's the word. See, I already messed up. Anyway, the word I learned that I think describes me perfectly is ambivert. I was...
Ambivert?
Yesterday when we went to bed, you were already asleep and I couldn't sleep yet. So I was scrolling through YouTube Shorts and there was this one video of... I don't know her name, I don't know what she does, but this person was talking about social interactions. And sometimes I watch these, usually they're full of shit, I think, but sometimes they're interesting. And this person was talking about how sometimes you're in situations where you are dealing with other people and that gives you energy. And then you enjoy that. And then sometimes you're in situations where things or people drain your energy and you don't enjoy that. And then there's introverts who mostly like to stick to themselves, recharge their energies. And then there are extroverts who have that same effect, but from being more outgoing.
And then the ambiverts are in the middle?
Ambiverts, yes, who can be both introverted and extroverted, depending on the situation. And then I figured that describes me much better than saying I'm an introvert. Because right now, doing this is not really introverted by default. Like I'm pointing a camera at me, I've clipped a microphone on me, sitting next to another person while talking to the internet. That's not really introverted. Because I'm an ambivert.
Okay.
I like these kind of things in certain situations. I really love streaming. I enjoy sitting here, I love having fun with you, making some of you people laugh. Or you hate it, but again, it's your shit taste, it's not my fault. My jokes are awesome, and so are Tifa's. Mine more than hers, but you get the point. But the thought of having to spend half an hour with my dad in a social setting makes me want to jump out of our first story window. It wouldn't hurt me. It would just like connect my legs. It wouldn't even break them. But you get the idea, right?
Yeah, that is fair. But it's not just your dad, though. Like, I do enjoy some social interactions, but at some point it's like your battery is dead, and then you need to recharge for like 3 months.
Yeah,
before
that's
it's
your
recharged.
introverted nature. But if there are some settings you enjoy, you're an ambivert, technically.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Surprising chill work week?
Nice.
I hope it stays that way. The extrovert in a chat is a lot easier than person to person. The rest of the time is social black hole.
I fully get that.
I think that is completely normal because I grew up with being told, oh, on the internet it's different, it's because you're anonymous and all of this. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's a different type of setting, and because you, in this case, or I, when I'm doing this, I approach it as a different type of setting, my inhibitions are different. You know, if you walk up to a random person on the street, because I don't know, maybe they look interesting. Like going over to this other person and then just chatting them up, like, hey, I really like your coat. It looks really cool on you. Where'd you get it? You don't know how the other person's gonna take it. Maybe they want to be left alone. Maybe you don't want to cross any boundaries that you perceive. A million different reasons. But this is different. We are purposefully pointing a camera at us, talking. And
Don't talk to me.
and we're inviting people to talk with us. You know? So
yeah, but it's still different on the internet, especially from a chat perspective, because I do agree with that. Being extroverted in the chat is a lot easier than being person to person. And even this is easier, also because we're two people.
Yeah,
and not just one. And on chat,
see every one of my solo streams.
Or online, you also have more time to think about what you might type or say. And I think that already makes it so much easier to have a conversation with someone online.
Yes, and the first time I felt all of these inhibitions just melt away when I was talking to another person face to face was with you.
Aw, how sweet.
I told you I fell in love with you when I realized you are the first person I've ever met where I don't get bored of talking all day. All day, all week, all month, all year, all of my life. That's so sweet.
How sweet. Adorable. So
because,
precious.
you know, sometimes, like in this kind of like in a romantic setting, sometimes you meet people and you click and it's easy. You feel like you've known each other forever, you're on the same wavelength. That's cool. When it's just regular interactions, I don't think on the internet like this or in person are necessarily different. It's how you view them.
Yeah, but it's also, I'm gonna go with what you said, actually depends on the setting. Like at work, I'm definitely more extroverted, but I feel like work is my domain.
Yeah.
Like anyone that steps into the office, and it may sound very weird, but comes to my domain, like that, this is all mine.
You all get paid to be there and work together.
And you are basically just coming into this area. So I feel much more confident about talking to people I don't know, like just having a conversation, walking up to people and just talk about whatever. But the moment you remove me from that setting, it's like completely different.
Yeah. Also, what I just said I think is wrong. I need to correct myself. After I said it, I thought about it some more, listened to it, and I think it doesn't make sense. It's not that your inhibitions change, it's that the situation is different. Because, you know, in some cultures, I think even in Germany, it used to be like a thing where when you were of eligible age and you were looking for a partner, you would wear like a thing on your clothing.
To show that you're...
Like, hey, single and searching. You know, that kind of thing.
May talk to me.
Yes, but exactly that. And I think that plays one of the key factors. Because again, finding the courage to walk up to a random stranger out there, going like, hey, like your hair. You don't know what they're going through. Maybe they don't want to have you talk to them. And then you respect that because you know how it feels when somebody annoys you by being chatty when you don't feel like it, so maybe you don't do it. This is different. if you go to an internet forum about anything, these people go there specifically to talk about things together.
Yeah.
Twitch with chat is a medium where like there is interaction. It's built in. It's encouraged. So there is no, oh, I don't know if I should say something. Yes, please do. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine too. Perfectly fine to just watch or listen. That's cool. But if you want to, go ahead. There's nothing stopping you. It's invited.
Oh, sure.
We need to find, maybe as a culture, as a society, we need to find a way to better broadcast when we do want to be approached versus when we don't want to. To make that, to give it a cue to people.
I think even then, I wouldn't. I have tried like going up to random people and like give them a compliment if I thought they like look cool or have nice hair.
Tifa does it
like
every now and then I praise her because I can see how much effort it takes her to jump over that hurdle to go like,
I really like your hair comment.
and then Tifa shuffles away.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but like trying to talk to people outside of my thingies. But even then, I think most people do take it in a good way. I haven't had anyone not take it in a good way. But even if someone would have a sign like, hey, you can talk to me, or like have it tattooed on their forehead, I probably...
Extroverted. Please approach.
I probably wouldn't.
No, I mean, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't like ask people, like, I myself wouldn't wear a label like, hey, I'm Jack, please talk to me.
I think that's a very extrovert move.
Yeah, that's like a power move kind of thing. But
I am extremely jealous of people who can just walk up to someone and just have entire conversations.
I find it so weird, like your mom goes into a store, 10 seconds later she's chatting with a staff.
She's friend with everyone.
Like about anything. And I'm sitting there like, just watching her do it tires me out. Like, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. It's just the idea of doing this. It's like, oof. But yeah, work also is different. Because at work, in my mind, it's like we're all here to do the same thing. Plus we're getting paid to do this, so...
Yeah, I don't know what it is with work. I do still remember my very first week at work, which is now 11.5 years ago already. And I was scared of everyone. Like, I came into the floor, it was like Of
course you would be weirded out if you came into the floor.
I walked on the floor, and I work in the men's industry, so it's like all of these...
Is that why your face is so man?
It is actually. Like, I did have a very feminine face, but after working there for so long, it started to mold into this manly...
It morphed to...
manly shape
to make you blend in. Yeah.
And you had all of these like big men sitting there, and like all of them like turn to you, and it's like, yeah, you can sit next to this guy, and I'm like, okay, do I have to?
Tifa 1 month into work, Giga Chat. I mean, she is. Wait, look, can you do the Giga Chat pose? Just, I mean,
shaping my jaw.
Not really. By the way, I don't know. And I'm getting paranoid if earlier our camera refocused properly. Just in case.
Yeah, I was scared as hell, and I think the first 2-3 weeks I was like this timid little mouse until I realized all of them are basically wet towels. And then I stopped.
That's a Dutch thing. What? Who's a wet towel?
When someone is a wet towel, basically very...
No, I don't think that's an expression.
No?
Not for most people.
Waschlappen, yeah. Yeah. Kind of like that, but more endearing.
We have a... See, in German being called a Waschlappen, a drying towel. Like the one you use to like clean, like dry your face after you showered or something like this. Like, that's usually a negative connotation, like a weakling.
No, but here it's not. Like, they were just soft and nice.
A pushover.
No, I didn't want to say pushover. And then, like, you start coming out of your shell, and at some point...
It's like they're all also just people.
I know, right?
I know, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
But at some point, it's like your place. That's where you're comfortable. And every new person isn't like, oh, scary, it's a new person. It's like, you're coming to me, not me to you. I think that's a psychological thing.
I also had to learn that at work.
What's behind that?
I was very much the same. My advantage was, like, I went through like a wave. Because at first I was super intimidated by everything and everybody. Because like first work experience and stuff. Then I became a complete prick because I was arrogant as fuck at that age. I started working when I was 19. I thankfully / unfortunately didn't have any like jobs as a teenager, like I don't know, like a paper boy thing kind of, or anything of that sort. So I didn't like smooth the edges of my character early on. So then I became an arrogant prick for a couple of years. Thankfully I did good work, otherwise I would have been fired so many times. And then I mellowed out and became like a real human being. And at some point I just realized, I mean, we're all here for work. Like if it's like a work event for like networking and stuff, I'll just talk to people. Like they are here for the same purpose. Again, for me, I think it's the idea of we're here to network. So we're all here to talk to each other. It isn't about like, should I approach this person? Yes, that's what the point of this is. But again,
networking can be exhausting though.
Yeah, but out in the wild, you don't have that. You go to a cafe and you see a person sitting there and you think, oh, this person looks interesting. Should I approach them? What if they want to be left alone?
In a cafe or bar, I will never ever walk up to anyone. Like that is scary. Yeah. Suddenly it's scary to talk to people. But then you also, I feel like at work, you can still talk about work.
Yeah, if all else fails.
Exactly. Like you have some basis for a conversation already. Mm-hmm. Like you can talk about something that happened before, or just complain about whatever is the current situation that's going on. Typical work stuff. But in a bar or a cafe, it's different. Like you have to think of other things to talk to. I'm a rather boring person. Like I can't just go like, hey, want to see my amiibo collection?
I see you also enjoy hot beverages. So do I occasionally. Do you want to go outside and maybe walk somewhere? Yeah. No, I feel that. Definitely. Oh. You know what I don't feel? Hopefully the need to correct Tifa's recaps. Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 5 Meakashi, also known as Higurashi When They Cry Kai?
I was still going to talk about one thing before you go into
Sorry, I didn't realize. Go on. Please do.
I was going to say, I don't know if it gets really picked up on camera. But
look at Tifa's nose, people. Now, lean in.
Wait,
fully lean in. Show them your shame.
I have a giant crust there.
Grow of a focus. So here's what happened. Yes, I'm mansplaining Tifa's nose to you. Tifa had like a zit or something right here.
No, it was one of those. The zit that was here. That one.
Yes, thank you very much. You're welcome. So get back in
this
camera.
was one of those, sort of like a blister.
So she had a thing on the corner of her nose, of her nostril. Now you would think, as a normal person, you look at it. If it's like a zit or something, you try to pop it, and then you leave it alone. Of course, if you're Tifa, you pick at it for a whole day.
Well, at first I did try to pop it, and I thought it was like a underskin sort of thing.
A subdermal zit.
Yeah, like the
where
one
you
I
see
have
the
here.
bump, but you don't see like it looks poppable.
Those are really hard to pop. Basically, anyway, that's not besides the point. But yeah, it got a bit irritated, as you can see. And now
Stop
it looks
touching
like...
it, and when it finally pops. But the thing is, this thing was effectively like she could see the bump here, but the poppable thing was in like the back of her head. That's how deep it was. So Tifa, being Tifa, doesn't just go like, huh, no, it doesn't work. No, she keeps picking at it. She keeps pushing on it. You should have seen it yesterday. It looked like that part of her nostril had tried doing like a Papa Smurf cosplay. It was this big and red and angry.
Yeah, Tifa picks her nose.
Who doesn't?
I've been trying. But the shitty thing is, it's like very swollen and
Stop
like
touching
hard.
it!
So it feels like it can pop. So I've tried to like make it burst.
And now she's like, I don't know if the camera sees this thing.
Well, now it's just a crust and it needs to go.
Tifa, you need to
But yeah,
go.
from this side, I am now Rudolph, the manly reindeer.
Just sit like this so that, like, no, the other way. Look this way. Look that way. Yeah, and now slightly down. There, now you're fine. Just keep looking that way. I'm gonna make it so much easier to read the text that's right in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about.
I'm so proud of you for admitting that you have a problem. Hopefully it's
I do have
gonna
a problem.
help you work through that. Can we please collectively bully Tifa into not picking at things that are growing on her face? It's fine to see if, is this gonna become a zit? Can I pop it? Cool. But if it doesn't work after, let's say, I would say 5 seconds, but it's Tifa, so let's say 45 seconds. That's 9 times as much. It's a lot more.
Yeah, but especially if you know it's under skin, it's even more satisfying if you do get it. It hurts a bit more because it literally, your skin goes.
So what are you gonna do? Whip out a scalpel and go, wait, mirrors?
No.
Basically, the post Tifa should do the entire stream. You know it. But also with a kind of eyes.
So yeah, Rudolph situation. It's really annoying because like on your...
Yeah, that's the punishment for you touching it.
No, it's like right here.
Stop. You just touched it again. No, I'm not touching it.
Now we can move on to the recap.
One of my English teachers, I don't know if she did this on purpose because it's a joke that I had heard before, if that actually happened to her. She came into the classroom and she stood there and she's like, yeah, kids, I don't know, don't be too annoying today. We were like 18 already, it was like the final year of high school, so you know, it wasn't like, we understood how she meant it when she said it like this. It's like, yeah, I don't know, if I do this, like it kinda hurts, and if I do this, it kinda hurts, and if I do that, I'm like, why don't you just stop moving that part of your body?
That's not as fun, is it?
But that's you.
Yeah, it's gonna go like, this is painful.
Yeah, it's like, I have a thing, I shouldn't touch it. Touches it. Like, please stop.
Yeah.
Please stop. What Tifa shouldn't stop is my segues, because it is the second attempt at getting Tifa to do a recap. Hey Tifa, what has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 5 Meakashi, also known as Higurashi When They Cry Kai.
So the last time we played Higurashi... Wait. I need to ask one question before I start.
Yeah.
Did the Watanagashi happen last stream or was that the stream before?
It happened last stream.
Okay, so it was the night of the Watanagashi and Shion apparently stayed at home in the inner room all night. Like nothing interesting for as far as we are aware because it basically just went to black.
Apparently, we say because we picked up on this. It might be a clue. The chapter in the chapter, that's what they call them now, starts with Shion narration going, yeah, I woke up around noon, ate some junk food, watched TV, had a bit of a headache, but I didn't want to go to sleep because then I wouldn't wake up again. And then suddenly, the narration changes to like somebody typing a report, including like timestamps and stuff. And then?
Basically, we swap to the point of view of, what's his name again? Satoko's brother. Satoshi. And we go through the things that happened before the Watanagashi, the fights he has with his aunt, or the fights their aunt has with the uncle, how they had a rough relationship basically, about all of the things that Teppei did and does, so she the aunt is in a really shitty mood, which is causing friction.
Teppei has now vanished from Hinamizawa to live somewhere else with his mistress, which pisses her off too, plus the neighbors hate her. So she hates the neighbors and she lets that all out on the kids.
Basically. So we get a little more insight of what is actually happening behind the closed doors because of this little bit, but it's not really sure from whose point of view it is. It seemed to be from Satoshi, but then Satoshi is talking about himself in the third person form because it's very much like he and Satoshi did this and then Satoshi tried that.
It seemed to be a third person narration.
Yeah.
From unknown source. Could be a police report that is read later on, could be just the way they presented from like an omniscient narrator kind of point of view. But confusing.
But we don't really know what happened the night of the Watanagashi itself because we
do know some things. We do know that Mion did pick up Satoko to go to the Watanagashi.
True.
Satoko being distraught about being there because she has a not very fun life at home. And when everybody trying to cheer her up because, hey, you know, try to enjoy the day at least because right now you're not there. Chakra, you can do it. We also learn that Satoko's and Satoshi's aunt has a thing, that's part of it, has a thing for taking stuff that she finds in the illegal dumping grounds and then she takes it home. Kind of like Reina, but not with cute things like a Colonel Sanders statue, but furniture. Sometimes people dump furniture and then she goes, oh, this table looks nice, and then she takes it home. So Satoshi, on his way home, went past there and found like a desk kind of thing, I think it was. And that looked really interesting. It would be something his aunt would very much like. And he looked around to see... he went into the woods and placed something somewhere. And he looked around to make sure that if he came back here later, he would find the thing again. It's not exactly clear if he's talking about... if it's being talked about just him finding that desk thing, or if he's talking, or if we're talking about the metal bat. I'm thinking it's the bat and he's trying to lure the aunt there, but we don't know that because we don't actually get to witness it.
It does feel like Satoshi sort of setting up a trap for his aunt, because what we learned the next day is that the curse of oyashiro-sama striked it again. Striked it again, and the aunt actually got killed.
She didn't just get killed. When they found the body, Irie-san was called over to try to identify her because the face was gone. As in...
her head was completely bashed in.
Yeah, imagine if you take a bat and you keep hitting a melon.
You don't need to imagine, because that's kind of what happened.
Yes, I was trying to be slightly more subtle than you, Tiva.
So obviously Oishi and his team try to find out who done it, who killed the aunt, and they don't really have a lot of suspects except for Satoshi, who obviously has a reason, doesn't have an alibi for as far as they are aware, and is the most logical person.
And then the police seemingly randomly bumps into Satoshi in the area, going like, hey, your aunt was killed. And he's like, oh yeah?
No, there he was called in.
Oh yeah, true.
Someone picked him up from the station to bring him to the crime scene.
Yeah. He seems like he's trying really hard to not show any emotion because he did it, but at the same time, we don't know if he actually did it. They also have a little bit of an exchange which gets kind of weird if you think about it, because Oishi's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll find the person. And when Satoshi's like, oh yeah? What kind of clues would you be looking for if you were doing this? And it seemed like he's trying really hard to not get caught.
No,
But then,
I don't think he asked that. The conversation just went like, oh, we will find them because sometimes they leave like hair behind or something. Yeah. And then Satoshi started asking how they would go about things, but it doesn't really matter. So we have a murder, we have a suspect, and Ooishi is trying to get Satoshi to talk because all eyes on Satoshi as the main suspect.
Can't spell Satoshi without I.
I believe a couple of days go past in the meantime while Shion is depressingly walking on the street and bumps into Satoshi.
In Okinomiya, apparently.
In Okinomiya, I think she was just going to do some shopping, but doesn't really matter. She bumps into him, tries to pretend everything is fine because, haha, the evil aunt is dead, so now things must be okay. Won't it? Because you're just with your sister. So we're pretending nothing has happened.
She doesn't know what to say. She knows what she shouldn't say because she's also like cosplaying as Mion again. Still, you know. Yeah.
We spend a little time together, go to a store, and
the toy store.
There we get ambushed by Ooishi, who wants to take Satoshi to the station
and a police squad. It isn't just Ooishi that shows up as they leave the toy store for the expensive plushie for Satoko. He's now reserved it. It's 5 or 6 police officers surrounding them, getting closer. Because, hey, Satoshi, we're looking for you, we want to talk to you.
And Shion starts panicking because Shion also believes the suspect or the murderer is actually Satoshi. Yeah. She knows Ooishi is on him, and if they get him into the station, they're not gonna let him go because he will probably crack and spill all of the details.
He's gonna sing like a bird.
So Shion is like, no, wait, he was with me.
He has
an alibi.
And then
Mion, already having given the statement that she was at the festival and not with Satoshi, basically made the situation a bit confusing because...
she's like, so you're rescinding your earlier statement? What? And then Shion goes...
It is not Mion. It is I, Shion!
Exactly, and he spent all night with me. We were at Angel Maud. Go ask there if you don't believe me.
So Shion basically...
revealed herself
to everyone.
Confusing the fuck out of everybody.
With the risk of this landing back at her grandmother, obviously, because she made quite a scene in doing so, and especially revealing herself to the police. Which is exactly what happened. Because the next day we are picked up. We had to go to the police station, of course, for questioning and giving our alibi, and we are then picked up by the family car.
Yes.
To go to our grandmother and explain ourselves.
Yeah, then we are driven all the way back to Hinamizawa. We are being led through the back entrance. They don't even give us the nice tour of, hey, let's go into the main house. No, we're being brought through the back into the gardens, into the Kink Dungeon, where we are currently held kneeling after a screaming, shouting match with the hag and Mion.
And with the rest of the family present, because the torture chamber, if you can still remember, is half tiles with a drain for
blood and guts.
Easy cleaning, and one half basically like a watching chamber with like seats, nicely furnished, where everyone can watch what is happening.
And an actual dungeon with like cells and stuff. Yes, Shion got into a shouting match about like, what is this? Like, what am I, Juliet? Like, I don't care that you hate the Hojos for whatever reason. This is not Satoshi's fault.
The problem wasn't even really that we revealed ourselves as Shion. The problem that our grandmother mainly had is that the fact that we not only revealed ourselves, we revealed ourselves to defend a Hojo. Yeah,
we have feelings for the wrong person. Because the family is cursed.
Allegedly. And obviously everyone that has helped us in our whole quest of rebellious stage that we have been going through, now needs to be punished.
Yeah, allegedly Kasai and Uncle Yoshiro are being held in the cells and we don't know what state they're in. Maybe they lost their pinkies, maybe they are dead. Probably not dead because Kasai appears in the other chapters, so assumingly he survives this encounter. Who knows? And we're about to get punished.
That's where we are.
A ton of stuff actually happened.
It was a really long weekend. Happened. You're never gonna finish this book. Probably
not.
Yes, we are. Not for the next year, I think.
Skinner, first of all, welcome back. Thank you for lurking. It's disgusting how little you believe. I've been waiting to say that for a while. I'm more impressed. I went to the grocery store and then grabbed a kebab and beat X pre-stream chat. That was the recap. We're all done. We're ready to go.
Yeah, we are just getting into it. Ooh, now I want a dinner. Let's get dinner tomorrow.
I offered Tifa to take her to get a kebab for breakfast tomorrow. She was like, no, maybe.
It's not that I don't mind getting it for breakfast, but last time we did that, you wanted falafel.
That's true.
And it was too early because they hadn't made the falafel yet.
Oh, and instead I had to eat fried cheese. Oh no, the shock and horror.
Wait, breakfast? Yeah, you know it.
Yeah. How do you think you get bodies like this?
Yeah. 24/7 dinner, my man.
Yeah. What kind of dinner do you have? Better one than you, because Germany invented that shit, but it's effectively the same stuff. No, we're talking about doner kebab.
Dinner.
Like the spinny meats. I mean, for her, I don't eat meats, I eat other stuff, but... What? Yeah. What's confusing you, Skinner? What kind of infidel are you that you don't believe that people can eat that at any time of the day? Doner kebab... Look it up. Because it was invented in Germany.
Not the one in the bread.
Exactly.
To go.
And as a matter of fact, the stuff you get as a doner kebab at like a kebab store and the doner kebab you would get if you go to Istanbul, for example, are two completely different dishes. Same idea of ingredients, but very different in preparation and taste. German culture. German heritage. Look it up.
I was gonna say you have Psycho ready to defend this. You have you ready to defend this. Like Psycho cracking his fingers.
I don't know too much about German history because I know the important bits. Don't worry.
German history starts at like 1950, right?
No, it doesn't. Some people might believe it, but no. I know the difference between kebabs and shawarma and gyros. What I'm eating is Turkish. I mean, yes, but also no. Anyway.
We need to get you some proper doner one day.
Yeah, you need to eat a proper doner kebab at some point. Come to Germany. Tifa, are you ready to higu some rashies?
I am absolutely ready. But yeah, we're having some for breakfast. But Jack wanted falafel last time. I say breakfast, but it was like 11:30, so technically it's lunch.
It was our first meal, so breakfast.
I guess.
You ready?
I am ready.
Are you? Wait, sis!
Can I still see the lock? No, right? Okay.
Not unless we go to a doctor who analyzes poop for a living. I've been waiting to bring it back. I don't care if
that did not work at all.
I don't care if it's still not funny to you. I don't care. It's on brand for me. It's part of my DNA.
Oh, remind me to take a picture of dinner tomorrow. Anyway. Blah 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 blah.
No, it's... wait, sis.
Wait, sis! That can't happen. Satoshi-kun, I mean, nobody else should be punished. Please forgive them. What is it, Shion? Tears rolled down my cheeks. I no longer cared about my pride. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. It's really hard to get into the serious...
Stop rubbing your hands like you're a fly. I'm seeing doner kebab was popularized. No, it was invented here. I don't know what propaganda websites you found, Skinner, but that's only half the truth.
And those are lies. I should have said what the heck wanted to hear. Yet she still looked unsatisfied. Oh, also a funny bit that happened in the previous stream. Like, they were like, oh, just apologize and people don't have to get punished. And then we were like, I'm not gonna apologize to the heck. Like, I'd rather have people die over my pride, basically, not what she said, but kind of what it felt like.
Shion dropped a couple F-bombs at them.
Basically. Yeah. Maybe that wasn't too surprising. I had just denounced her so badly in front of the relatives. She wouldn't forgive me so easily.
Or at all.
Just then, Mion spoke as the successor. So, Shion, how do you propose to pay for this? Pay? What do you want me to do? Nothing could be scarier than being told to pay up while standing next to horrid-looking torture devices. I was completely terrified. I couldn't move from trembling. Mion saw that and whispered to her grandmother. The hag nodded. Mion summoned some young minions and gave them an order. They removed one of the torture devices hanging on the wall, then set a table in front of me and put the device on top of it. What could that be? Wanna place a bet on what the torture device is?
It's a device that they put on top of a table. It could be anything at this point.
Yeah,
it could literally be anything. It could be placed on the table for them to grab and then use on her. It could be like a nail bed that she's being put onto. It could be anything. We know nothing. Also, I'm sorry, but when Tifa read the line that she summoned young minions, I was thinking of the little yellow guys.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because of serious situation. I was also thinking of them like hopping in. F? Yeah. No, not F.
No. Just,
But wait, that means Psycho probably cannot hear us. Not F.
Should be fine. Everything says with the left.
What? Shion. Seeing Mion confused me.
Wow, saying Mion and Shion look the same.
What is this? It's a tool for removing fingernails. Do you know how to use it? A tool? Oh, I somehow thought it was like a way bigger thing that they...
I mean, listen, there is a bunch of ways you can get into a situation where your nails are coming off, or where the medical good choice is to remove a nail, because it does grow back at some point, I believe.
Yeah, it does. I had a friend who lost her complete toenail the other day, and she sent me a picture of what it looks like, the fleshy bit underneath. She's like, oh, I'm sure you would appreciate this. Yes, I do. But that has grown back. Can confirm, grows back.
But, yeah. I knew this was coming. I was mentally prepared for it.
It was a few weeks ago, actually, but still.
But I believe that removing somebody, or like ripping somebody's nails out, is definitely something they do in enhanced interrogation. That's torture. Yeah. Because it is so immensely, you don't die from it, but it's so immensely painful because you have got all of these nerves in your fingers. It's like,
that's why putting a nail through the middle.
Yeah, under the nail, and then you hammer it.
Oh,
my fingers hurt.
Light work. It's a start. You gotta start somewhere. Like, you gotta build it up, you know. You first start with the nails, then maybe the pinky, like a nail in the leg. Maybe like nail one straight through your palm. What?
Who are you? Is this the moment where you reveal that you are Mion Sonozaki, heiress to the Yakuza clan? Stop coming closer to me. I need to sit somewhere.
But I like you.
I like you too, but I like a healthy distance so I can still move.
Wow. Imagine.
Carry on.
No way. I shook as I stared at the tool. It looked like a giant nail clipper. Kind of reminds me of one of the pages Dark Lord posted on Discord. There someone was, I think it was Mion clipping her nails.
It was Shion, and it's, now we know it's foreshadowing.
And now it's harder to pull it. She just cut it short.
Yeah, but I don't think they care.
Is this Mion or Shion?
That's Shion.
You probably put the part that looks like a beak between your finger and fingernail, pulling them apart if you squeeze the handle. Oh. The chills ran up and down my spine when I imagined that. Each fingernail represents one of your responsibilities. Shion Sonozaki? No matter which ones you choose, you must remove 3 nails yourself. Oh, doing it yourself!
The most fucked up part? This is all bad, don't get me wrong, but the most disgusting part is making you do it yourself.
That is really hard. It is so hard to actively hurt yourself unless it's like a...
Your body will freeze. Like, even if you... Assuming you're dumb enough or you have the courage to do the first one, once you feel that pain on the second one, you will most likely lock up.
Nah, it's gonna be really hard.
Because your body goes, I'm not pressing that button. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
It's the self-defense mechanism. Okay, everyone, quick. Which 3 fingernails would you choose? I think the pinkies are the most logical choice.
Yeah, from outside in.
Makes sense. Maybe 1 middle finger just to be able to say fuck it. And then 2 pinkies.
Oh my god.
Challenge accepted. Skinner pulling off his nails here.
Skinner at home. I can do it myself.
No, wait a second.
No, don't give people... Don't do that, people. Don't. But oh my god, imagine if Shion rips out one of her middle fingernails, or 2 of them, and then she goes, here Oreo, this is what I think. To be fair, I think at that point they just kill her, but that would be a badass way to go out.
I kinda would. But I think the 2 pinkies...
Pinky, and 1 ring finger.
Yeah, probably.
Trying to think about how much I use every finger, I want to say, like, from thumb towards pinky, most to least.
Yeah, and you can basically, if you hold something, like, you can let those 2 fingers hang as to not...
Yeah, like...
put pressure
it's like...
on it. It seems like the most logical choice. Can you also pick toenails? Actually, toenails... Because then you can also pick your small toenail.
Can we please get over it?
Fine, you didn't say your choice yet, though.
Because nobody wants to ponder that. Like, nobody wants to think about that.
No?
Say! You know, now that you mention it...
Thumbs and a pinky.
You can hack it more if it's a thumb because it's bigger and stronger.
Okay, interesting way of thinking.
Alright.
Didn't consider that. 3. 1 for Kasai, 1 for Uncle Yoshiro, and the last one for Satoshi-kun.
This is where I think she's wrong. The last one isn't for Satoshi-kun, the last one is for disgracing the family. Satoshi is gonna disappear anyway.
I would have said way more. 1 for Kasai, 1 for Yoshiro, 1 for Satoshi, 1 for revealing yourself, 1 for escaping the school, and then 1 for disgracing us.
1 for the outburst of daring to raise your voice like this to Oreo.
The question should be, which 2 would you like to keep?
Just remove all of them at this point.
Yeah, or that. It was a fairly reasonable number. I do think they're going easy on her. Will you really not punish the others? Did they say that? Promise me. Please let them go if I do this. This is a punishment, not a negotiation. If you don't like the procedure, I'll do it. Just give me a second. I'm doing it.
They never said they would spare anybody. This is just your rationale kicking in. Like, okay, if I pay for that, we're good, right? Like, I can make up for this? No. You're doing this for my entertainment right now.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, because I don't recall them saying, we'll spare them if you do this. Any of the middle fingers are gonna bang into each other too much during the day, but I can focus on keeping the ends spaced out. Yeah, that is true. I put the device to my little finger while shaking badly. If my fingernail were shorter, it would have been harder. The metal beak captured my little finger beautifully. The subordinates then stabilized my left hand with a different restraining tool. That seemed reasonable because my finger would slip out if it weren't restrained like that. As the subordinates buckled up the leather straps, I realized that this was really happening, and there was no escape.
In movies, if this was a movie, this would be the point where I get up and go to the toilet, and then I magically reappear after the screaming stops. You know, when the scene is over, and then I go ask Tifa, was it as bad as I thought? I can't leave right now.
Somewhere in my mind, I'd been thinking that they might forgive me after just a gesture alone. I shouldn't have been so naive. The emotions I'd been holding back appeared in the form of tears and kept rolling down my cheeks. It was like my feelings were being squeezed out until the very last drip. Something even more horrifying followed this. It was the silence that awaited my next action. Wait, she did already do it, right?
No, she didn't.
Oh.
She's all strapped in. She now had her emotions run wild and...
Yeah, this kind of made me feel like it happened and then we're skipping to...
No, it didn't.
Okay. So, what should I do now? One of the subordinates pointed to the handle and told me to either squeeze it or hit it.
Hit it. Don't squeeze it. If you start squeezing, you're gonna stop squeezing when it starts hurting. Slam that thing down with one swift motion as hard as you can.
Yeah, I don't think squeezing it is gonna make it better.
I feel like puking.
He recommended that the latter would be easier to make it quick. Nobody said anything after that. There was nothing to hear but the sound of my sweat dripping onto the floor. The onlookers were staring at me silently, waiting for me to execute my punishment. Both the hack and Neon. They were also anticipating it. I could refuse. But that meant I wouldn't be paying up. This punishment exists to offer payment in exchange for the safety of those who help me.
I'm not so sure about that.
If I refused, they would suffer. I started breathing heavily. I knew that if I did this, the others would go free. This was, if you thought about it, quite a good deal. If it weren't me, it wouldn't be just 3 fingernails. If it were Kasai, he'd have to sacrifice his little finger or something even worse. I knew that. It was my selfish desire to get away from that school. Why did Kasai have to suffer because of that? I knew that. Why did Uncle Yoshiro have to suffer just because he provided me with a job? I knew that the hack and the other relatives still hated the Hojos. So I didn't know what they'd do to Satoshi-kun if I didn't do this. Would they bring Satoshi-kun here and tell him to do the same? Would they tell him to remove his fingernails in exchange for forgiving me? He'd do it. He'd sacrifice himself with no hesitation in order to save others. My sweat dripped onto the table through my nose. I'd do it. Yes. It was only 3 fingernails. Might hurt a lot, but I wouldn't die. The fingernails would grow back. It wouldn't even leave a huge scar. I shouldn't be afraid. The punishment was minimal because it was me. If I refused to do this, the others would be punished much more severely. I couldn't let that happen to Kasai, Uncle Yoshiro, or Satoshi-kun. I was the only one who should be punished. So I just needed to bear the pain. I wasn't just breathing heavily anymore. I was also moaning faintly. ready to scream at any moment. That's right, make it quick. This wasn't torture, so I didn't have to prolong the moment of pain. I should do it in one swift blow. That way my pain and fear would be minimized. I raised my right arm. Quickly. Quickly. The pain would be lessened if I did it in one stroke. It'd be much more painful if I messed it up. I held my breath. I felt as if my body was frozen. I was choking. The chills crept up my spine. Don't be afraid, Shion. Fingernails are just a tiny fraction of the whole body. Just 1 square centimeter. I could do this. I could bear it. Scream after it happened or before?
Scream as she slams down.
Okay. Can't do it too loud because neighbors. Shit. No, that's too loud.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry. Maybe it's good you play without the voices. I do want to hear that in a moment. I was actually thinking of replaying that. Yeah, sorry. How you doing?
Happy Friday. How you doing? Voice acting Higurashi is so good, and voice acting the scene being so unnerving. Yeah, my back hurts from how tense I am listening to her do this.
A bit louder, you coward. Neighbors.
If you buy us a house, sure, Skinner.
And I find shouting or screaming really hard to do because I don't scream or shout. I'm more like a wah, like literally like that kind of person.
You are well.
I smacked my right hand onto the handle of the device. I sensed the noise through my body instead of through my ears. At the same time, I felt a pain I'd never experienced before. A moment later, the pain pulsated with my heartbeat. I clenched my teeth. I felt like my teeth were cracking. I tightly shut my eyes until my eyeballs got squeezed up. The pain wouldn't fade. Rather, it swelled with my blood pressure. I felt as if though it was bloating like a balloon. Timidly, I opened my eyes.
Don't look at it.
I found that my little finger wasn't really drenched in blood. It was bleeding, but not much. Certainly not enough to explain how much it hurt. My fingernail was open, just like the hood of a car. It's not even fully pulled off yet. It's just like hanging on to the last little stretch. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was overwhelming. It occurred to me that I'd only done 1 out of 3. Did I have to repeat this 2 more times? Did I have to remove the nails from my ring and middle finger as well? I looked at the hack and at Mion begging for mercy. But they were just silently staring at me, as if the show had only just begun. I saw no hint of mercy in their eyes. They wouldn't be changing their minds. Since they said 3, it had to be 3. They wouldn't forgive me until I removed 2 more fingernails. Mion, look! Isn't this enough? It really hurts, you know that? You see that in my eyes, don't you? It really hurts. Mion answered, still wearing a cold look. Shion, you can't keep going? She didn't mean that it was sufficient. What she meant is that the others would have to take the remaining punishment if I didn't. I knew that. I really did know. I'll do it. This is easy. You sadists. This doesn't scare me. This doesn't hurt. I quickly moved the metal beak and set it on my ring finger. and smacked it with no hesitation. Instead of making it quick, maybe I was just rushing out of fear. I'd messed up. The torture tool had clipped just the tip of my fingernail. The pain, however, was equal. I couldn't believe I'd only chipped it. Did I have to do it again? Did I have to continue removing the nail from my ring finger? That much pain? Again? Again? Shion? No, I don't want to do it. I couldn't bear it anymore. I started crying shamelessly. I can't take it anymore. It's too painful. Forgive me, please. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They didn't seem to hear my voice. It felt as though there was an invisible barrier between us. They showed no mercy. They were just here to witness this ritual. So rather than sympathetic, they looked amazed by my screw-up. Mian walked up to me and whispered to my crying face, Shion, there's just a bit more to go. Hang in there. Hang in there? Like your nail?
Imagine not biting down on a plank of wood or a rag before doing this. Skinner, imagine not getting one because they strapped you in there. This isn't to make it nice for her. This is a punishment. Nobody cares if she breaks her own teeth in the process.
Yeah, basically.
She fucked up. This is the price she pays.
I don't think she gets to be comfortable.
Yeah, I really think her comfort is the least of the concerns of the people that are doing this to her. Flashbacks to that scene of SpongeBob where Squidward loses a nail.
I actually do not remember that episode.
Please tell me he's losing a nail that he wanted to hammer into a piece of wood and not like one of those, because...
That doesn't seem like the same at all. No, 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 no! I can't do this. It really hurts. It really does. Bring myself out of it. Mian shook her head and then signaled the subordinates. They came from behind me. They covered my head with something like a knit cap. It was a blindfold. One of them pinned me in a Nelson hold, restricting my movement. No! Stop it! No! I couldn't overpower the guy behind me. Then I felt something strange on my left hand. The other guy was doing something with the torture tool. He put the metal beak between my ring finger and its fingernail. No! Mom, help me! Mom! No! My left hand was fixed in the restraint, so I couldn't put up much protest anyway. But even that left hand was pressed down by his rough palms until it hurt, robbing it of the freedom even to tremble. They had no hesitation. Two in a row. It was made very clear to me how merciless people could be. Robbed of my vision, all I could do was clench my teeth against the pain assailing me. If there was anything I was thankful for, it was that he was well practiced and had ripped both of my fingernails off cleanly. Pain and screaming might induce narcotic chemicals in the brain. While screaming, I started losing consciousness.
In a way, I want to argue what the minions did there was mercy.
I think having it done to you is definitely easier. Especially since they can just go, whereas you will...
Yeah, you will be slowed down by your own pain.
Yeah.
And like...
And messing up.
I was assuming, especially after after the second one, going on to the third, if she twitches from the shock of the pain and she messes it up again, like it isn't just 2 slams, it might be even more. What if she gets so paralyzed she stands there for an hour, you know? Like, oh my god. My stomach is upset now too.
Yeah, I started hearing it.
As if hitting a toenail in a corner wasn't bad enough, his torture must be hellish. The nerves are so delicate there. Yes.
Yes, it really is.
This is completely messed up.
I would like to hear...
Of course, Tifa would like to hear the pain screams.
Yeah, and some of the lines before.
Which one? You can't hear these lines. These are not voiced.
Yeah, but the one she does voice.
Tell me one. You get 2.
Okay, then do this one. Why is this a Tifa moment? I want to hear the voice acting.
I want to hear what the voice actress does with the direction of imagine your nails being ripped out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That is...
Sounds about how I imagined it.
Sounds about right. Go up.
You sick fuck.
Just one.
I want to apologize for the actions of Tifa.
Now I look like even more of a sick fuck because I'm laughing while listening to this,
yes.
But I'm reading the comments in the meantime.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No.
I already saw the Jack run and stuff.
Tifa
I look like a complete psycho.
Tifa just sitting here like, oh, pain. Imagine screaming. Shion's Mion's voice actress does an insanely good job across all of Higurashi. Yes, she does. Are you satisfied now? Because I feel disgusting.
Do you?
Yes.
Tifa, take notes for later scenes. The problem is, I really do want to do that. But that will clip and have complaints. Because we have quite thin walls.
This room is not made for that. Not my intention, but you wanted to hear them, not me. Yes.
Hey, I can appreciate the voice acting. What's wrong with listening to it?
Nothing. You are perfect in every way. Who would ever say otherwise? Why would they do that?
Keiichi's Goku 2. One of my favorite performances of Keiichi's voice acting is when he goes insane in chapter 3.
Fair enough.
I think we've listened to a few lines there too.
I don't even recall anymore.
Maybe not the specific scene though.
What I can tell you though is I need a short break. I need to mentally detox from this for a second. And I need to pee.
Wow.
I'll do both at the same time.
Well, BRB. We are back.
I was thinking, do I get myself a piece of chocolate during the break? Because I feel like I need it, but I decided against it.
His voice lines on Spotify. Can add them to my gym playlist. Just have it loop.
I didn't expect there to be like a competition about who can be the most deranged person about all of this. But somehow, despite you having an instant lead, I think right now Skinner is winning.
I will gladly hand it to you, Skinner.
Emotional support chocolate. You get it. Exactly that. But if I had grabbed some, it wouldn't have been just one piece of it. One piece mentioned. Did it first. There would have been an unhealthy amount of chocolate. And I've already eaten like a raccoon today, so it's good.
I'm kind of hoping we're still in the torture room, but from the looks of it, we got moved. Like, I kind of want to know what else is happening. Like, what's with Kasai and the uncle?
We might find out if I press a button.
Do we get to see their torture scenes?
If I press a button. Why are you so sick? No, she passed out.
To be fair though, if it happens, like, at least show it. Like, in movies, that is also so annoying when you get to, like, a torture scene and they do the fade to black thing. And then it's like, okay, this has happened. Like, at least play it out. Well, Skinner gets it.
Because whatever they could show you will not be as bad as what you imagine in your head.
Show it or don't do it at all, cowards. I often agree with that, yeah. And it's like, oh, it wouldn't add anything to it. Yes, it would.
I am currently contemplating the company I keep.
I woke up.
There was something I wanted to say, but... No, you get to do that again. I still need a moment. No, screw you.
Fine.
Tifa doesn't know Higurashi is a family-friendly Christian game where no torture ever happens on... I know, right?
There's
so
no torture
weird.
chamber in the basement.
No bad things ever happen in Ba Sing Se. There was something I wanted to say, but no, I forgot about it. Oh well. When it comes back, I'll tell you.
You still have 3 fingernails?
But only 3. They glued the 3 back, they removed the other side.
I woke up and still had all my fingers, exactly.
Alright.
You okay?
No, but go on anyway.
I woke up. My memories were missing. I couldn't remember how I got back to my room. I held my head with both hands. My left hand was bandaged. The fingers that had their nails removed had swollen like hot dogs. I'd paid with those 3 fingernails for what I did. The hag had said something after the punishment, but I didn't remember any of it. I was taken to a hospital in Okonomiya. The car shook on the way, adding extra pain on top of what I already felt. Wait, she was still brought to a hospital? That doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah, you don't want the wound to get infected.
Oh, some alcohol, put some bandage around it.
Sorry, I didn't press this button fast enough. Can you repeat what you just said?
And it seems very kind to still bring her to a hospital. I wouldn't bring her to a hospital.
She doesn't understand. Tifa, the punishment isn't for her to die from infection. Besides, that would be unsightly. You don't want a Sonozaki to be out there looking disgusting. Yeah, that also disgraces the family.
The punishment has already happened. Fair
yes,
enough.
She has paid her price. And that's the end of it. Now we're good again.
Fair enough.
Just recognize this is the theme that has the Higurashi signature tune.
This is a really nice tune in the background.
Yeah, like it.
Simple, but very nice.
Just like me. That wasn't quite the compliment.
Yes, it is. Somebody gave me some aspirin. Paracetamol. I mean, better than nothing. They worked just like they said on TV. But they didn't last more than 10 minutes. I swallowed the pills without water. While I was spacing out in the waiting lounge, Kasai showed up. He probably came to check if I was alright. I obviously wasn't. He must have understood that from my bandaged left arm dangling from my shoulder. Kasai, on the other hand, looked just fine. At least on the outside. I was so relieved that my sacrifice had meant something. Kasai didn't say anything. I couldn't tell if he wanted me to tell me... I couldn't tell if he wanted to tell me something or not, because he looked so emotionless. Kasai?
Yes?
He paused shortly before answering. I could tell he was upset. I didn't regret revealing my true identity in order to protect Satoshi-kun. But I hadn't wanted Kasai or Uncle Yoshiro to be hurt. I had been contradicting myself. Do you know how Uncle Yoshiro is doing?
No. I'm sure he's alright because he's strong. Even so, you should apologize to him.
Okay. The uncle is probably gonna get punishment too. Like, unlike Kasai, he's part of the family.
Yeah, but Kasai works for a family, and he's close enough that he gets to hang around with Shion and stuff, so...
That yes, but he's not actual family.
Yeah.
He doesn't carry the name like the uncle does.
Good point. Look guys, we provide healthcare for a torture victim. We have honor after all. In their eyes, they are the heroes. Because, you know, they stood up for their traditions. They said it right. They allowed Shion to pay them back.
There's a code to it, isn't it?
Fuck the code.
Somehow honorable, I guess. I wanted to ask him about Satoshi-kun too. I wondered if he was captured or harassed by the Sonozaki family because of me. But I was hesitant to ask Kasai. After all, I'd chosen Satoshi-kun over them.
I think they would understand. But...
Was Satoshi-kun alright? I hoped he wouldn't get caught or incarcerated somewhere. I paid the hospital bill and Kasai gave me a ride home. I finally realized that somebody was knocking on my door.
Is your karma catching up with you? Shion-san, it's not healthy to sleep so much.
It was Kasai. He put some side dishes on the table and we started nibbling at them.
How do you feel?
Depressed.
Have you been resting? Have you been eating?
I've been eating the stuff left in the fridge. Otherwise, I've been either sleeping or staring at the ceiling. It had been 3 days. I'd just been laying down since then. I woke up every now and then in my shallow sleep, but I didn't feel like getting up or thinking. I felt like I'd just been floating the whole time. My appetite was gone, but it came back with the smell of the food Kasai brought. I wasn't able to think of anything to talk to Kasai about, so I just ate silently.
I got a call from Mion-san yesterday. She was saying she called you a few times but never got through.
The moment I heard Mion's name, I felt my wounds drop. Oh, that is so annoying when you have a wound and you actually feel it go badonkadonk.
Yeah.
That is such an annoying feeling.
Like, I still feel my little scar. There's like, if you go over it?
Yeah, I can see it.
No, go over it. Do you feel the 2 bumps?
Oh.
There is like 2 tiny bumps under my skin, and sometimes when like accidentally I touch those, it hurts like hell.
That's probably the skin you didn't let me pull off.
No, it's scar tissue. It's like it's healed, but it's not fully healed, you know. Maybe one day.
But I didn't stop Kasai, who continued.
Because you paid up, the family decided to close the matter. You will officially withdraw from the academy and transfer to a school in Okinomiya.
They're finally acknowledging my right to make my own decisions, huh?
Indeed. I said you could live as yourself now, under a few conditions. You will stay away from Hinamizawa. You won't pretend to be Mion Sonozaki. You won't show up in public places, and so on. This means...
In exchange for acknowledging me, they don't want me to hang around.
That's correct. Of course, it's only temporary, until things cool down. There is no saturation, but I think you should stay inconspicuous at least until the end of the year.
Be good enough to just live in Okonomiya quietly. The way it was before. Kasai put on a sad smile. I smiled back at him likewise. Before the conversation ended, I should ask him what I wanted to know. How's Satoshi-kun doing? I wished that Kasai would assure me of his safety right away, but he didn't answer like that. Kasai? Is he alright?
Shion-san.
Kasai put his chopsticks down.
The family wants you to forget about him.
What?
Shion-san, I don't want to get an argument with you, so I will not get into the details. I'm only relaying to you what the family wants.
What are you talking about? What details, Kasai? Kasai pretended as though he didn't hear me and started eating again.
That is such a disrespectful move. I hate it when people do that.
No, if you now think of what probably has happened already, Satoshi being gone, he's trying not to hurt her.
I feel like just pretending that you didn't say anything is the worst way of dealing with any of this.
Yeah, but sometimes you also don't know how to respond yet, so you do something else while
yeah, but they all do this on purpose in moments like this, so this is supposed to be like a power move, like I will not speak on this matter further. It's that kind of deal.
Nah, it's not a power move from his side. Never seen him get so stubborn like this. The Sonozaki family had been using the Hojo family as a scapegoat. They must have concluded that the Sonozaki shouldn't be in love with a Hojo. I didn't like that. Satoko is a friend of Mion at school. Would it be okay if Satoshi-kun and I were the same gender? Anyway, if I did something conspicuous again, they might do something to him for real. Just like they forced me to remove my own fingernails. The Sonozaki family wouldn't hesitate. They'd torture him if need be. Maybe, if I really loved him, I should stay away. Satoshi-kun won't show up in Okonomiya, unless he rejoins the Hinamizawa fighters. I'd have to pretend to be Mion if I wanted to go to Hinamizawa, but I didn't think she'd cooperate with me.
Of course not. Yeah, let's do the whole thing again that got us in trouble in the first place. I can imagine that Kasai is kind of conflicted about Shion getting him almost tortured. Yeah, I would imagine there's a whole brewing pot of emotions. Like, on one hand, hopefully, understanding that her intentions were pure, like she has feelings for the boy. Then the whole, you knowingly did this, and you knew what was at stake, so think of the position that put me in. Then the whole, I may have almost been tortured or actually did get something done to me. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen, you know? They could have roughed him up.
I don't think these feelings are behind that, not from a malice sort of point, like I don't like what you did here and think about how I could have been tortured, because he knew this could happen from the very start and he still helped her. And don't forget, she's basically a stupid teenage girl. Like, I'm 100% certain he knew that the truth would come out regardless.
There's a difference between knowing there's a chance something happens and then something happening and there being grave consequences. It's always easier to be brave in the face of a possible adversity versus what Shion, for example, just went through.
No, I really want to believe that him acting like this is trying to protect her. Like, forget about the boy, I'm not gonna answer any questions, look at what just happened, just move past it.
I think it might be all of this.
Even if she did, it'd be some time down the road. Even if they told me not to see him, I already had no means of doing that again. Oh, wait. Mion gave me his number a little while ago.
She could call him.
I could call him.
That's what I just said!
And maybe ask to meet with him secretly.
Oh my god, Mion. Shion.
She hasn't learned. But if I get caught again, they wouldn't cut me any slack. Should I risk it? What the hell did I even want from Satoshi-kun? Kasai? Can I be alone for a moment? Kasai started putting away his food in a rush, assuming that I wanted him to leave. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Take your time and finish your food. I just want to take a walk.
You can't lock this place up if I don't step out with you.
Kasai quickly put away his meal and followed me out. Just to be clear, I'm not going out to see Satoshi-kun, alright?
I see.
I turned around and started walking. My destination was rather pathetic. It was the toy store that sold the giant teddy bear. I couldn't deny that I was somewhat expecting Satoshi-kun to pass by there. I couldn't stop myself from looking at the faces of passerbys who resembled him. I looked into the store's window. The teddy bear was gone. Congrats, Satoshi-kun. Looks like you were able to buy it. His evil aunt had died and his wicked uncle was living with his mistress. Satoshi-kun succeeded in fulfilling his duty as a big brother by buying his little sister that huge teddy bear. There was nobody left to hurt him. He was free from his tiresome efforts.
And that's the end of a chapter. Everybody got a happy end after all. All it took was 3 fingernails.
That's a good price to pay.
We're not even halfway through chapter 5.
Yeah, but it would have been a good price to pay. He was completely free from pain. Over time, he'd retrieve his smile. And he'd go back to being the Satoshi-kun I love. But I wouldn't be there with him. I heard a car honking. I didn't think it was honking at me at first, but it was so persistent that I had to look up.
Meep meep.
The person waving at me from their car,
Ooishi,
was Irie. He was waving at me all carefree, oblivious to my feelings.
Sonozaki-san, long time no see. Oh, are you meeting up with Hojo-san?
No, I'm not.
I know he looks into that store's window all the time, so I assumed you were expecting him here or something.
No, I'm just passing by. Looks like he was able to buy that teddy bear. Irie seemed to know about the teddy bear as well. He smiled upon seeing its empty display space.
Yesterday was Satoko-chan's birthday. He must have celebrated it with that teddy bear.
He doesn't have to work so hard anymore, huh?
Indeed.
Did he turn in his resignation to the Hinamizawa fighters?
Oh, does that even exist? I never received one. Did you, Sonozaki-san?
No, I didn't.
So that means he still belongs to the team. I think he'll be back after things have settled down. But I know he'll be sad if he doesn't see you there.
Does Irie know who he's talking to? That's a bit confusing here.
I don't think so. Even if he might have a hunch, he doesn't know. And I think Irie is the kind of person where he wouldn't bring that up like that casually.
Yeah, but he's probably the one that treated her.
Yeah, but still.
And he would know they wouldn't do that to Mion.
Yeah, but even then, why would you address this in public where you don't know who hears you?
Yeah, I guess, but still it seems too casual a conversation as well.
Yes, if I knew the daughter of a Yakuza clan, I would be super freaking casual as well in every single one of my conversations.
Shion was in a hospital in Okonomiya. Oh, true, I got thrown off because the picture is the same one as in the other hospital. So in my mind, it's the same one.
It doesn't even matter who treated her.
Yes.
Irie knows enough about all of this. Remember, he was the one who treated the kid, the grandchild of the construction minister. Like, I'm pretty sure Irie knows to just go, yep, nope, it's just another perfectly beautiful summer day here in Hinamizawa. I am not seeing anything.
Yeah, but the question is whether he knows of the twins' existence at this point.
I wouldn't be shocked. He's a doctor. He probably has access to medical records.
Well, a lot of those records are hidden or sealed.
How do you seal the fact that Mion's mom gave birth to twins?
by not registering one. They only have one in the public record.
Then how did Shion attend the school?
Money.
Clearly Tifa knows way more about this, and I think we should end this part of the conversation here because she gives up any state secrets. Because apparently I'm living with 007.
Yeah, but you make it sound like it's impossible.
I'm just saying there are ways he could know, and if I was Irie and the way I perceive Irie, he's gonna keep his mouth shut.
Irie teased me. He's a grown-up after all. He must have been trying to sound optimistic because he knew I was feeling a bit down.
You can come back to the team anytime you want. It might as well be empty without you. I'm thinking of providing you with a maid costume once you come back.
I burst into laughter. Irie sure hadn't changed. Oh, I almost forgot. I can tell you my name now. Oh, maybe we should have pressed A.
Imagine. Imagine if once again it was a press A moment. Like it usually is.
It really is, isn't it?
When you two are arguing about the story makes me realize you both would love Umineko when they cry. We keep being told that, and at some point, maybe, but we'll have to get through Higurashi first.
Yeah, both at the same time is gonna be a bit much. But Umineko comes after Higurashi, no?
No, it's not sequels.
Somehow,
it's just made by the same person.
Somehow I always thought it was like a sort of a sequel.
Multiple people worked on this, of course, but it's the same author.
Not related at all. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Psycho.
How did I not say that?
Annoying, isn't it?
Thank you for confirming, Psycho. This has nothing to do with you, but... What?
It's like when I tell you something and you don't believe me.
Oh.
And then someone in chat will tell you, and then it's like, oh, thank you.
Okay. Fair point. Yeah, but you understand that with you, that's an actual issue.
Wow, rude.
Like, with me, I get it, it's funny because I do the same, but I have to do this to survive.
Sure thing. Also, Umineko is also much longer, no?
Yes. Allegedly twice as long as Higurashi.
Oh,
Tifa's realization. Wait, twice as long?
No, I thought that was like a sort of sarcasm thing, but like literally.
No, we've been told that multiple times.
Well, just so you know, Yaya, we started Higurashi in March.
We also took like a total of 2 months break for vacations, November. Like, it's not that long.
Yeah, but that will always happen.
And conversations like this make it take longer. When they came out after Higurashi, same author, I'd say they are around the same length, 8 chapters.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That's not too bad.
And true, not only the reading, discussing, theory crafting, bickering.
We don't bicker.
Telling Tifa she's wrong. Tifa telling me, no, I can't have opinions because of the way I have opinions. No, Jack, your opinion is too broad. You can't say everybody is robots. By the way, yes. I think Irie might be a robot. Haven't said that in a while.
I thought Irie was Tepe.
Could be. We still haven't seen Tepe.
Yeah, that's true. I can vouch for the quality, but it's just too long. Fair.
Fair enough.
I almost forgot. I can tell you my name now. Sorry, Coach. I was lying about my identity. I'm not Mion. I'm her twin sister, Shion. I've been pretending to be her for a few reasons. Yeah. Ha! Ha! He did.
Why are you slapping me so hard? You slapped me so hard I pressed the button.
But like, did I not say so?
Yes, Tifa, and like I said, even if Irie knew, I would bet both of my butt cheeks. Actually, no, all 3 of them. But he would just play like, oh my god, really?
Can we write this down as a point?
No. Also, I love how she didn't even like react to the fact that I just said I have 3 butt cheeks.
Because it didn't even register.
See, you can say whatever you want as long as you argue about Higurashi. Maybe, you know, if you are ever in a situation where you need to have a serious talk with your significant others, play Higurashi together and then just slip it in there like I just did. What? Yumion-san's twin sister?
Sorry, Tifa stocks are going up. It's going like zonk.
Stonks!
He was totally taken aback and I burst into laughter again. Yes, I'm Shion Sonozaki. I'm forced to live quietly because my grandmother hates me though.
Why don't you just also tell him the rest? My grandmother hates me. You know, she's kind of a demon. But my twin sister, who was born seconds before me, Mion, she actually has like a demon tattoo, I think. Also, she's the heiress to the Yakuza clan, the S group, the Sonozaki family.
She doesn't hate you, it's tough love.
If you or anybody you know is in a tough love situation, like Shion, call the cops. That's not tough love. I never realized that Mion-san had a twin sister.
Ah, there he is. I was waiting when Ooishi... Or I was wondering when Ooishi would show up.
I love you, but you're making it hard for me to read my lines when you're invading my personal space.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that you don't sound very...
Because I feel like your cheek is about to rub against mine like... It
just feels kind of satisfying.
I don't think they set up a safe word. They should have. Now you made it worse. Thank you. Sitting together is hard. Same here.
Suddenly a loud voice interrupted us. The voice sounded mean and greasy, unlike Irie's. It was him, Ooishi.
Hello, Dr. Irie. Thank you for your cooperation last night. Don't mention it, I wasn't of much help.
They were just going through the motions. What happened last night?
We don't know yet, Tifa.
We were in our room. No, what could have happened? We were in our room for 3 days.
Anything could have happened, like the being demoned away of a certain boy. Or more dead people being found. We've been out for 3 days. Anything could have happened in Higurashi.
I'm quite sure if I remember correctly, Satoshi disappeared a few days after Satoko's birthday. So it can't be...
On her birthday, which was yesterday.
Was it on her birthday?
On her birthday. At least that's what they said in one of the chapters.
Oh, I thought it was a couple days after, but then it was a couple days after
Watanagashi
okay.
On Satoko's birthday.
So something happened to Satoshi yesterday. But what?
Letting her cook. Carry on.
No, I don't. I'm trying to think what it could have been. But I don't have.
Most likely the being demoned away of Satoshi.
So you think Irie helped Ooishi getting rid of him?
No, I think Ooishi talked to Irie about, hey, can you tell me anything about the whereabouts of Satoshi Hojo-kun? And then Irie was like, okay, here's what I know. And no, I cannot help you because I haven't seen him in a while myself.
No, that makes sense. It was obvious that they hated each other. Irie whispered to me.
I hate him. I'm leaving now. Do you want to get in my car? I can drive you home.
Irie figured that Ooishi was after me, so he was giving me a chance to slip away. Looking at Oishi's face, it was clear that his focus was on me, not Irie. He probably intended to interrogate me until my testimony broke. I was sure I could talk my way out of it, but it'd just be a waste of time. Alright. Coach? Let's get going.
Oh, are you two going somewhere together? Yes. We're on our way to get some stuff for the team. We have to drop by a few places, so will you excuse us?
Iri bowed and I followed suit. I hated to... Oh, hated.
You good, bro?
I had to admire how good he was at lying. He's a grown-up after all. Oishi seemed to know it was a lie.
Kinda obvious.
But he didn't have a warrant, so he couldn't stop us. I moved to get into Irie's car.
How are your wounds, Shion Sonozaki-san?
I gasped when I heard that.
When you heard that?
Heard that. My left hand was bandaged. It was unsightly, so I kept it in my pocket. There was no way Oishi could have been able to see it.
Well, heal with no problems if it don't get infected. If it don't. Well, heal with no problems if I don't get infected. I've torn my fingernails off a couple of times myself when I was a kid, but look, they look beautiful now, don't they?
Men's fingernails shouldn't look beautiful. That gives me the creeps.
Fuck you, Shion. I think I've got very nice nails.
You have really nice nails.
Why shouldn't men's fingernails look good?
It's not manly now, is it? Or it's not considered manly.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why is self-grooming not considered beautiful?
Don't ask me. I'm not on the side.
The 80s were a weird time.
Isn't it still now, though?
If you don't bite your nails off, you're not a man.
That proves it, because I bite my nails off, which adds to the being manly.
I don't. I never once have. After I met Tifa and I learned that she eats her nails every day, all day, I tried once, just for the sake of knowing what the experience is. I can't do it. Like, my teeth start to hurt if I... like.
Yeah, but you don't bite it off. You put it in between your teeth and then rip it.
Did you see the conviction she just spouted that out with? Like, you just do it like this, Jack.
Yeah, because you can't bite it off like this. That doesn't work.
Skill issue.
You go like this and then clip.
Is that why you were so morbidly interested in hearing the screams of a nail clipping thing? Because...
I'm just saying. Everyone, Detective Delicious.
I feel like there's a word wrong.
Detective Delicious. Are we talking about Ooishi here?
I feel like one word is off in that. Detective Delicious keeps his nails polished every weekend. Oh, no. Everyone knows. Okay. Or like a comma. Everyone. Detective Delicious. Yeah, this guy.
I mean...
He keeps his nails nice. Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, who cares?
You have very nice nails.
Forget biting your nails as an adult. Or as a child, I used to rip my nails off.
Only when you have like this loose piece and you just like...
Not a Tifa moment, but a Jack moment. We don't have a Jack moment thing, so I can't press that. You can tell slightly on my thumbs. I don't know if this works with a light. Do you see that down here at my thumb? Like, the color is slightly different? Like here? It goes around? Like that? As a very young kid, when I was like 4, I picked up a really bad habit from my mom. My mom, when she was fidgeting, she didn't bite her nails, but she would like...
Use her nail to...
She would scrape the parts of the skin next to the nail. And if you... Don't do that, by the way. But if you do this... If you do it right, I do not suggest it, I do not recommend it. But if you do this, eventually you'll know that you also get the skin that's not the dead piece of skin, but you will start ripping your healthy skin.
Isn't that normal?
Yeah, but as a kid, I would keep doing that all the way from my nail to the first knuckle. On my thumbs and on my index fingers.
That's a bad habit.
Yes. Yes. I stopped at some point. I cannot recommend it. So, Tifa is biting her nails still to this day. It's better and worse some days. At some point, you're just gonna have hot dogs for fingers. You're gonna have no nails. That's enough shaming. It's not necessary. But don't do what I did either. That's cannot recommend. It's not good.
Oh, is she like tasty? Yeah. Why did I not see that connection? I mean, she's also not a bad-looking guy, but still.
How much like Oishi am I to your eyes? Because
But you're handsome. He's not bad-looking.
Okay. All right. So you want me to achieve the Oishi physique? That was hurtful. That was so hurtful. Wow. Wow. Self-esteem wise, I thought I was doing well.
You are! How often have I told you that you gained muscle? Stop going to the gym. Yeah, I was just thinking how we can transform you into that.
Tifa, I can see your face lying.
Yeah, because of your face.
I'm just gonna read Skinner's comment. Maybe I can swallow the pain in the meantime. Pulling my nails out when I was younger, for the most part, was mostly harmless. I guess. Just dig your nail into the side of the other nail until you've made a groove and just...
Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Or that's actually how it starts. Like every time I try not to...
Put your hands flat on the table.
Just pulling some skin.
No, you leave that alone. You leave your hands as God intended. Now.
The moment there's like this little chip in it, it has to go.
Press A, I'm trying. She doesn't let me.
Yeah, I was trying.
Go on then. Can we move on?
Yes, we can. Oishi scratched his head and chuckled. He's supposed to be one of the best cops at the Okonomiya PD, and he knows about all the underground activities in the region. He must have heard about my payment from somewhere. Still, that happened in the secret basement of the Sonozaki main house. I couldn't underestimate this guy's sources. Thank you for your kind words. We'll be going now. Excuse us.
Press nail. No. Shion Sonozaki-san, why don't we get coffee together sometime?
What? Are you hitting on me?
Sorry, that's... Oh... I know the 80s were different and sexism is a thing, but... She's like 16 and you're like, what, 50? You know...
This might just be a press A thing, because he's gonna say more.
If you like. What?
Sorry. Time flies. I can't waste any of that precious time on things that don't interest me.
That burn, though. That took a second. I'm gonna try to steal that for life. Can't waste any time on things that don't interest me.
Sure, she's acting.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think so too. It's just to catch her off guard.
Yeah, that's also why he spends so much time at Angel Ward, right? You got me there. How about this then? You can leave any time if you get bored of talking to me. I won't stop you. How does that sound?
I don't mind you talking, but I won't talk back. I doubt you could call it a conversation.
Yes, that'd be fine. You can just listen, and I'll talk. You can just listen to an old man ramble while sipping on a cup of coffee.
He was being strangely persistent. It didn't look like he was trying to poke a hole in my statement. What would he even talk about? I got a bit curious, even though I was still skeptical. Coach, I think I'll go with the old man instead.
Shion-san?
I winked at him and told him not to worry. He didn't insist. He got in his car and drove off.
Yeah, what is he gonna do? Fight you for it?
Ooishi backed his car up so I could get in. I hopped in the back seat since I didn't want to sit next to him. Are we really going to a cafe?
If you could direct me to one with no connection to your family, that'd be great.
Or...
Why is she so bad at this? Tifa is, out of all the people I know, Tifa is the only one that doesn't regularly go... she has trouble doing this.
Yeah, well, why would she even go? There's no reason to go.
I do that all the time. Tifa, huh?
Why don't you just take me to the station then? Ooishi carefully checked for oncoming traffic and then started driving. Ooishi took me to the police station as I thought he might. If he had taken me to a nice cafe, he would have scored some points.
Oh my god.
But whatever.
I thought it'd be more convenient if we came here. You can still go home if you get bored.
Try your best not to bore me then. Do you want me to go into the station hand in hand with you? Ooishi chuckled and got out of the car. He escorted me inside the station. But hand in hand or not?
I don't want to know. I feel like in the shower for some reason. I feel like there's something on me that I want to rush off.
I thought he'd take me to an interrogation room, but instead he took me to an office of the investigation division. Officers in both suits and uniforms were working at their desks answering phones. There was a desk with a plate that said section manager, and nearby there were couches and a table. Ooishi told me to sit on the couch and started making some instant coffee. Never been to this part of the police station. I looked around in curiosity.
Did you think I'd take you to an interrogation room?
Ooishi brought over a tray with coffee cups on it. You're treating me better than I expected. I thought you'd whip me or something. And still came along.
My tastes don't run that way.
And so? I thought you wanted to talk.
Alright, I'll cut to the chase. Are you in love with Satoshi Hojo-san?
What? It's getting boring already. I'm going home.
Okay, please forget that.
She must have known why I had to remove my fingernails. He wasn't trying to confirm that I liked Satoshi-kun. What was he really saying? Or what he was really saying was that he knew already. I already talked to Detective Kumagi about Satoshi's alibi.
Stop. No.
Kumagai.
Who is Kumagi?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Now, how about you take a sip of your water because you finished your ginger tea.
I already talked to Detective Kumagai about Satoshi-kun's alibi that day.
And of course, I read Kumagai-kun's report. I know you were with him.
I'll just repeat the same statement no matter how many times you ask. Don't think you can poke holes in it.
No, that's not what I want. You're a smart person. I know that wouldn't work for you.
I wonder what you're after. You're wasting your time if you want information on Satoshi-kun. There's nothing more to talk about. This is boring me after all. I'm going home, since that was our agreement. Excuse me. Got up off the couch.
Shion-san, I did want to get Satoshi-san's alibi from you. I admit it.
That's it then. It's boring. I'm going home.
This is the third time she said that in like 4 sentences.
I turned around and started walking. I wish he didn't get anxious, but instead spoke a little louder.
But Shion-san, what I want to ask you about is his alibi for yesterday, not the day of a murder.
His Alibi for yesterday? Why? What does that have to do with his aunt's death?
That's because Satoshi-kun has been missing since then.
What?
Didn't you know that he went missing?
I couldn't say anything, but my expression answered Oishi's question anyway. What's going on? Missing? What?
Why don't you take a seat?
What do you mean Satoshi-kun has gone missing? What the hell?
We only know one thing for sure. He withdrew all of his savings at an ATM in the Okinomiya post office before 3 p.m. yesterday. We don't know his whereabouts after that.
I knew why he withdrew that money. He wanted to buy Satoko's birthday present. Yes, he definitely bought that teddy bear yesterday.
This is just my guess, but I think he skipped town with that money.
You mean he used the money to run away? That's stupid. He was saving to buy Satoko a birthday present. He bought a big expensive teddy bear from that toy store. He'd never use that money to skip town.
Yes, the most expensive teddy bear in that toy store was sold.
To me.
But we can't confirm that it was Satoshi-kun who bought it.
Why don't you ask the clerk? Satoshi-kun and I reserved that teddy bear together. Oh. I had a bad feeling. That old man who was watching that store was sleeping when we were there. He'd looked very senile. Maybe he was also watching the store on that day and... even though Satoshi-kun bought the teddy bear, he didn't remember. Oishi put on a wry smile. It looked like he'd already tried to question that old man. Anyway, it's Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. He must have saved just enough to buy it, so he shouldn't have been able to run away after. That's nonsense.
Alright, let's say he really did buy the teddy bear. Then why didn't he come home with it?
At that point, I felt as though my heart had turned to ice. Satoshi-kun had been working hard to buy that teddy bear even though he was under extreme mental and physical stress. After all that, he finally managed to buy it. It's unthinkable that somebody else just showed up and bought the same teddy bear. The teddy bear was gone because Satoshi-kun had bought it. Nobody else! But if so...
But that's not the point he's making, Shion. The point is, he didn't go home.
Satoshi-kun should have given it to Satoko. But... though he bought a present for her, he didn't come home. He didn't come home. That wasn't possible. He would have gone straight home with that teddy bear. He wouldn't think of running away after buying the teddy bear. Even though Satoshi-kun wanted to run away from the police. He'd never leave without giving Satoko her present. Anyway, it must have been Satoshi-kun who bought that teddy bear. I can say that with 100% certainty. The question was, why didn't he bring it home? That teddy bear was huge. It wouldn't fit into the basket of a bicycle. He might have brought some straps to tie it to his bike. He wouldn't have thought of running away on a wobbly bicycle like that. He necessarily had to go home after buying the teddy bear from the store after withdrawing the money. Nothing could have happened when he was going between the ATM and the toy store. It was impossible. Nobody else could possibly have bought that teddy bear. Never! That teddy bear had been sitting in the showcase up until that day. Everybody could see it when they passed by, but nobody wanted it. It's impossible that it could have been somebody else. There should be no question that he went to the toy store after he withdrew the money. What about the route between the toy store and his home? There shouldn't be any question there either. He shouldn't have been able to do anything with that huge toy. He shouldn't even have thought of making a stop on the way. So he must have headed home right after he bought the teddy bear. But nobody saw him after that. It was simple then. Satoshi-kun went missing on his way home from the toy store. He went missing. What did that mean? I was sure he killed his aunt. He's not that shrewd. Maybe he couldn't bear the pressure from the police? Was he resigned to the idea that the police were going to arrest him soon regardless of my help? Did he decide to run away? Did he think that he should disappear until things cooled down rather than get arrested? That was definitely, absolutely impossible. It was impossible that he came to the conclusion on his way home from the toy store. Even if he did, he would have waited until he gave Satoko her birthday present. Satoshi-kun loved Satoko. He shouldn't have spoiled her like that, but anyway, he always tried to be a good brother to her.
Even in her rant, trying to understand all of this. I mean, I hate Satoko, but anyway, Satoshi is great.
So he'd never disappear before going home. I felt as though the ice was cutting through my heart, expanding the frost. If Satoshi-kun didn't disappear by his own will, the answer was simple. Satoshi-kun disappeared by somebody else's will. Was Satoshi-kun eliminated? That's a really stupid old man. I thought I could shake off the frost in my heart if I laughed loudly enough.
Satoko delenda est. What does that mean? Did I just cast a spell on her?
It does sound like it.
Sounds like deleting somebody.
It backfired and deleted Satoshi.
Yeah, kinda. I still think the Sonozakis did that. At no point did anybody ever say, if you rip out your 3 fingernails, all is forgiven. I feel like the use of words is very careful there and very purposeful. How are you going to pay? Just because you pay for something doesn't mean something else that's bad won't happen. Or will not happen. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that the Sonozakis are involved, but not even as a punishment for Satoshi, but as more towards Shion to make sure she doesn't get involved with them any further.
Yeah. Can't get involved if we make him go away.
Like a precaution, basically.
In ancient Rome, a senator would end every speech with, and Carthago needs to be destroyed. Carthago delenda est. Even if his speech had nothing to do with it. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I didn't know the Romans hated Carthago this much. Alright.
And now they hate Satoko.
Yeah, the remark of Satoko, fair enough. Fair enough. Would the hag still do this? Yes, she would.
Yeah, she absolutely would.
Like, you know, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely.
After everything Mia or Shion has done to defy the family, you would think she would stick to the live a quiet life, don't contact this kid again, blah blah blah. Of course not.
You know,
you just help. Oh, sorry. You just help her to make sure.
Got a prediction. I have a prediction to write. Today is 7th February. Kasai and Yoshiro were sent to Onikakushi Satoshi.
Okay.
It wasn't just random goons of the Sonozakis that were sent to make the kid disappear. It was specifically those 2.
I do think Kasai might be involved, because that could also explain his reaction if he knows what happened to Satoshi. Because when they had dinner, he was already gone.
Yeah. And I would imagine the Sonozakis know about that anyway, regardless of whether they are involved or not. But
yeah.
If they did it, then these 2 specifically, as the punishment.
Agreed. I kept laughing until it happened. I kept laughing and laughing. All the cops in the room stared at me. They thought I'd gone crazy. I didn't care what they thought. I kept laughing until it turned into a cough. Cough. No, it doesn't say that. It says cough. I I finished laughing and took a sip of lukewarm coffee.
I was gonna say, is cough what you do when you... cough with double F? Is that what you do when you cough after drinking coffee?
That must be it.
Somehow, because of how you reacted to that, like this, that told me my joke was the worst.
It was.
My attempt. Like, it wasn't even, oh, that was really bad. Just like, yeah, let's carry on anyway.
It was bad enough, yeah. Oh, it is.
Fair.
I felt as though the frost in my heart had spread all throughout my guts. I was chilled to the bone. I was freezing. My fingers shook as I held the coffee cup.
Shion-san, please listen to me without interrupting. What I'm about to tell you is only a hypothesis. It's all just a theory. You might start laughing in the middle because it may sound ridiculous, but I want you to hear me out. Can you do that?
Whatever, just talk.
I said listen and shut up.
I was feeling far too cold. My teeth were chattering. I felt as though my brain had frozen as well. I lost my ability to think. I couldn't do anything by myself. I could only do as Ooishi told me. What he was going to tell me might be the worst possible theory, but I had to listen to it.
I know that Satoshi-kun's and Satoko-san's aunt was abusing them, especially Satoko-san. In my opinion, it's normal that Satoshi-kun started thinking about murdering his aunt, because he was just a human being.
I had to deny that Satoshi-kun murdered her, but what Ooishi was saying was true. I couldn't deny his hypothesis.
You cannot just try to skip over words that to you appear to sound like Egyptian gods. Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
Sanli Mudeng.
I couldn't deny his hypothesis right away. I just kept silent.
You can't deny hippopotamus. To be fair, you really don't. Well, if a hippo comes after you, you will do what the hippo wants. Like, they don't play around. This is only a hypothesis, alright? Please don't be upset. And no interruptions. Agreed?
Oh. New music.
Yes.
I know. Just go on.
Satoshi Hojo planned the murder of his aunt and executed it. With no proof, okay? It's all theoretical.
Alright. I heard. Just keep talking.
This is just like our conversations.
Get to the point, for fuck's sake.
I'll switch the subject now. Shion-san, you were forbidden from having a relationship with Satoshi-kun, weren't you? They told you to stay away from him, correct? I believe the reason behind that is not that your family hated the Hojos, but that they didn't like the fact that you were involved with a murder suspect.
That is actually possible.
No, I don't think so, because that would make sense.
It's probably a mix of both.
Nah.
After all, when I was pretending to be Mion, I already had a connection with Satoshi-kun. Before anyone knew it was Shion who was spending time around him. I could have been accused when I was helping out the Hinamizawa fighters if the relationship between the Hojos and the Sonozakis was the problem. It wouldn't be difficult for the Sonozaki family to know that Satoshi-kun murdered his aunt if it happened in Hinamizawa. Maybe one of them even saw the murder. The Sonozaki family didn't like that I was in love with a murderer. They decided to step in.
Nah, hell no, they don't care. Only our family is allowed to murder. Yes, because we are superior beings, because our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather once did the hanky-panky with a cute little demon lady, allegedly.
Yeah, but they murder in the dark. Satoshi is murdering in the light, basically. No, but it does make sense.
We have standards here in Hinamizawa, and Satoshi did not meet them.
Like, it would ruin their reputation.
Yeah, but... See, that's the thing. If it was about the reputation, I would buy it. not the, oh, it's because he murdered somebody. I don't think they care about that, but we will find out at some point, maybe.
No, but this is a murder not committed by the Sonozakis, probably, which means the police is on someone else's ass. Then being in a relationship with someone the police is after, which is not us, because we can just buy them off, will get them to us too, and might even give plausible cause to look more into our family.
That all makes perfect sense, but I don't think Oreo cares. I think it's more of a, we've always hated the Hojos, the boy must die. And then they just go kill the kid.
Well, I think it all adds up.
Also, you're not known to give up easily, aren't you? Which means even if the Sonozaki family threatened you or ripped off your nails, you still wouldn't cut ties with Satoshi-kun, would you?
See, that's exactly what I said. Like Oreo would not just believe that she would listen after everything.
Ojo, if a bat don't fit, you must acquit.
That's why I corrected myself. But Oreo wouldn't just believe that after everything she would just go along with it. She would make sure it can't happen.
Sorry, I made myself laugh too hard.
I couldn't deny that. I lost most of my means to access Hinamizawa, so my ties to Satoshi-kun were essentially cut through.
Yeah, no, do the whole thing again.
I lost most of my means to access Hinamizawa, so my ties to Satoshi-kun were essentially cut. True. But I still knew Satoshi-kun's phone number, and I expected him to rejoin the Hinamizawa fighters eventually.
I believe your family knew that a few threats would never be enough for you to break ties with Satoshi-kun. They could threaten you all they liked to no avail. So, the only option would be to do something about the other person, wouldn't it?
What do you mean by do something? What would they do? What? If threatening me was useless, then they'd do something about Satoshi-kun. What would they have done? If they pulled something, then wouldn't that interrupt his path from the toy store to home? Toy store to home! Toy store to X to home!
Why the fuck did you say X like that? Why did you say it in German?
Oh, it's Dutch, I guess. X.
Yes, or German. Can I have that line in English, please?
Yeah, but I'm mad, so I can say it how I want.
No, that's my favorite letter. If there's one letter you cannot mispronounce, it's this one.
Fine. Yugi, how you doing?
Welcome in, Yugi. Happy Friday. How are you doing? XD?
Okay, Elon.
Oh, no. No. Not even as a joke. No, never again. No, please don't.
Toy store to X to home.
Thank you.
What's X? What is X?
A disgrace on humankind.
X marks the spot where his path was interrupted. But what interrupted it? Why couldn't Satoshi-kun make it home from the toy store if something interrupted him? Why? What's X? X!
Technically, it's when a chicken menstruates.
No, expensive.
In some parts of the world, yes.
I ran out of air, became dizzy, and then collapsed. The floor felt cold. I felt no pain. I'd fallen to the floor like a plastic doll. Ooishi and some others rushed over to me and helped me up.
Calm down, Shion-san. We're not certain that Satoshi-kun was killed yet.
You're not certain he was killed? What the fuck are you talking about? Don't you know about that torture room where they forced me to rip off my fingernails?
How would they?
Well, he obviously knows what happened. Don't you know that they say there are prison cells and a well for disposing of corpses in the back? If the Sonozaki family wants to eliminate somebody, they definitely kill them in that torture room and dump the body down there. You're not certain. Are you dumb? Is your brain made of tofu? Wow, insult.
With the amount of tofu I actually eat, mine is part tofu. I mean, on a molecular level, I guess. I mean, not really, it's where I get my protein from, but you get my idea.
If I were in the hack's position, I'd kill him for sure. I wouldn't let him get away. If I would kill him, then the hack would definitely kill him.
Shion-san, please, calm down. This is unconfirmed, but I have information that somebody witnessed a young runaway male at Nagoya Station, who took a train from there to Tokyo. The clothes didn't match, but it is possible that he changed what he was wearing to hide from the police. It's still possible that it was him.
Is he alive? Is he?
This is also a theory, but let me go on. Your twin sister Mion-san is the closest person to Oreo Sonozaki, correct? I'm assuming that Mion-san stopped Oreo when she suggested murdering Satoshi-kun furtively.
Mion? That was possible. She could have tried to calm things down of pity out of me. Or of pity out of me.
Yeah, no.
She could have tried to calm things down out of pity for me. That idiot was always so indecisive. She should have been clear on if she wanted to save him or not. But she probably seemed vague about that. She must have persuaded the hack to reduce the punishment to banishment instead of death just to avoid feeling guilty.
I believe that the Sonozaki family contacted Satoshi-kun. They probably told him that they couldn't cover up the murder and told him to disappear somewhere far away. They forced him to be more accurate.
Satoshi-kun would have rejected that. He would never leave Satoko behind.
I agree with you. Satoshi-kun was working at the places Mion-san referred him to, wasn't he? So the family knew that he had enough money for a getaway.
But he never used it for anything other than buying that teddy bear.
Yeah, but maybe one of his Sonozakis went and bought the teddy bear on his behalf and then delivered it to Satoko.
No, but the teddy bear was never brought home.
No, that's not what he said. He said Satoshi didn't return home.
But if he knew that the teddy bear was there, they would have known. So far, they do not know who bought the teddy bear. If the teddy bear was at home, they would have known he was the one that bought it. So the teddy bear is not there.
No, there wouldn't. The question would still remain. A new question would then pop up. Who delivered the teddy bear?
They don't know. No. It's not there. Let me scroll back.
The original question was, what happened after Satoshi allegedly bought the teddy bear on his way allegedly home? Yes?
Yeah, with the assumption that he bought it because Shion is convinced that he did.
Yes.
The police does not know.
Yes. So all we do know for a fact is that the bear is gone. Assumingly, somebody bought it. Yes?
Yes.
So why couldn't a Sonozaki have bought the bear?
That could be.
Yes. And why couldn't the bear then have been delivered to Satoko's house?
Because I'm quite sure in the beginning it was already mentioned that it's not there.
No, they never talked about this.
I am pretty certain. Scroll back up if you want.
Tifa, there is no... I do not want to, because there is no Control F. I'm not gonna go through the script of the last 30 minutes.
I'm pretty certain the bear was not there.
They never talked about that.
The bear is missing.
Sometimes it is very frustrating to have an argument with Tifa, because she has a point of view, which is okay. And then she goes, no, you have to prove that I'm wrong.
But this is not a point of view, this is a fact. There is no arguing with the fact that the bear is not there.
If I recall correctly, Satoko did not get the bear.
Exactly, there is no bear. The bear is missing.
How do you know?
The bear is on the list.
Yeah, but they didn't say that.
They absolutely said that.
No, they didn't.
They absolutely did.
No.
The bear is not there.
They didn't say that.
Look at all of how much this all rhymes. Isn't that proof of fact? No?
I was trying to come up with a rhyme on Tifa to dab on her, but I can't think of one.
Press A.
Yes.
It's probably gonna get mentioned in the next line.
Imagine. You're right. He must have gone straight to the toy store after he withdrew the money. But what if a teddy bear was already sold when he got there?
That would have been a very desolate situation. He'd been working hard. While his aunt abused him, he worked at many different jobs. The money was worth all that pain.
Was it, well?
He went to the toy store with that money in order to buy his beloved sister a present. That was the only purpose for that money. He must have looked for the teddy bear as he'd always done, but it was gone. He wouldn't have gone into a panic right away, because he was always so optimistic. He might have thought the store was wrapping the gift for him because he told them that he'd picked it up that day. He must have gone into the store joyously. I couldn't guess exactly what happened next. My heart would tear up if I tried to imagine it anyway. Why didn't they have it? Even though he had it reserved. Did that old man understand the situation, or was he just zoning out? Maybe it would have been the same, even if it wasn't that old man who was at the store at the time. If a bunch of fierce-looking subordinates from the Sonozaki family went in and showed them the money, nobody could have rejected it.
That's what I'm saying.
Satoshi-kun must have sunk into silence. No matter how hard he complained, the teddy bear was gone. He probably never even considered that his dream might be taken away. He must have been wobbling his way home in sorrow, leaning on the telephone poles every now and then. It was the day he wanted Satoko to be happy the most. He couldn't get the present she wanted the most. He probably didn't think of getting another gift, because it was unimaginable that he couldn't get that teddy bear. He might have imagined how Satoko would react when she found out he had no present for her. He must have looked unbelievably sad and empty. The money he'd been saving meant nothing anymore. Satoshi-kun never cried, even at his toughest moments. Did he even know how to cry? Which is kinda weird since we saw him cry twice already.
How would she know that? Like, this is her, like, idolizing him based on her feelings, right? Because, again, Shion has spoken to him 4 times in her life that we know of. 4 times.
It's the image we have of him.
Yeah.
It's because he never had to pull his nails off here. Legit. It was always Satoko who was crying. So Satoshi-kun never learned how to cry, and he grew up that way. Did you know? People shed sadness from their hearts with tears. Satoshi-kun wasn't even allowed to do that. Even though his heart was filled with sorrow, he couldn't let it out.
You insisted he wouldn't leave Satoko-san behind, right? You insisted he wouldn't leave Satoko-san behind, didn't you? But think, what if his Sonozaki family told him that they'd look after her after his disappearance?
After Satoshi-kun found out the teddy bear was gone, all he had left were some crumpled bills. The family told him it was just a matter of time before the police got to him, and they told him to run away. They said they'd take care of Satoko. Satoshi-kun didn't feel like seeing his sister. He wandered and found himself at Okonomiya Station. He must have been apologizing to Satoko so many times in his mind. He swore to come back someday. He headed to Nagaya.
To where?
Nagoya.
Nagoya.
He swore to come back someday. He headed to Nagaya and then to Tokyo. Oh, Nagoya. Now I said it wrong again.
Once more, maybe with a place he headed to, Tifa.
He headed to Nagoya and then to Tokyo.
Tokyo. Tokyo.
But that meant he's alive. He's alive. I should be able to see him again someday. He must be coming back, so I'll definitely see him again.
I assume that the Sonozaki family set up some place for him to stay. Satoshi-kun must have gone there.
So he's safe. He's coming back someday, right? Ooishi looked up at the ceiling and stretched. He didn't answer me. On June 24th, 1982, Satoshi Hojo went missing. There's a possibility that he ran away, as he was the prime suspect of the murder that happened on the 20th of the same month. Allegedly, someone resembling him was seen at Nagoya Station embarking on a train heading to Tokyo, but the truth is unknown.
I'm so proud of you for sticking with it now.
No one has seen him since. As a matter of fact, no one even knows if he's still alive.
Frustrating. Notebook pages 34 and 42.
Ooishi does have a good theory there. Hippopotamus.
A what? Hypothesis. You're a good hippopotamus. Actually, no, you're a bad hippo. Nagoya. Notebook page 34.
You want to be the notebook page? Or am I the notebook page?
You have a notebook page because I think this is Shion's notebook.
The information that Satoshi-kun might have headed to Tokyo hasn't been verified. It started as follows. The young man came to the lost and found window looking for his wallet. The station employee asked him to write down his name on the form. Then the young man started writing Hojo as his name, but he stopped in the middle, crumpled the form and wrote a totally different name on another form. Another station employee witnessed a similar looking young man rushing into the train heading to Tokyo. The employee from the Lost and Found, and the employee who was on the platform, talked about the suspicious young man in the locker room. That was all. The wallet of the man named Hojo was never reported as found to the Lost and Found office. Ominous music.
Mudang is best hippo.
Yes, he is.
Willing to agree. As a matter of fact, I think all those, I forgot the proper term, those like pygmy hippos, the ones that stay
Tiny
small,
hippo.
those are the best. Because hippos are cute. Smaller hippos are cuter because they're smaller. And also, smaller hippos, less chance of murdering you. Because if you see some of the videos where like Mudang is like chomping on the caretakers, if a big hippo did that, your leg is gone. You know? Like, I feel like it is so cute and looks so adorable because it's like,
That's the thing.
yeah, if a pit bull did that at like the same force, it's like, yeah, my arm is gone now. You know, or like a wolf or like a lion. Pygmy hippos can do damage. Mudang is just playing. I didn't know they were that strong too. All right.
Mudang is going through puberty.
I don't even know. Like,
Wasn't Mudang born last year?
I think so, yeah. But I also don't know what age part for a pygmy hippo is the teenage years.
I don't know.
But again, one thing to always consider, it's the same with sharks. Like, most animals don't have hands. So the only way they can interact with things is by going... biting into them. You made it awkward by just sitting there and taking that.
Yeah, like you bite me, man. You have hands?
Oh, but
thank you for the demonstration.
I'm sorry. When Mudang does it, it's adorable, and when I do it, it's like, that's so weird. No, screw you.
I didn't expect you to actually jump on me.
You're welcome. I thought something different if they have no hands.
Wait, no. Do I want to know what?
No, we don't want to, I think. No. It's the same with sharks. Sharks bite into everything because what else are they gonna do? Like swim next to you and go like with their like little flappy fins?
That would be cute.
That would be adorable, but
really
I don't think that's very efficient for them. Yeah.
A fish net.
Oh my god. Why didn't I think of that one?
I was trying to put net in there, but it didn't really work.
Don't look up what dolphins. No,
dolphins are assholes.
I find it so weird that everybody like even me, until I learned about dolphins, like we look at dolphins and like, oh, they're so cute, look at them,
Yeah,
they do the flippity flops.
Because you don't learn what dolphins do as a kid. You learn that they're cute, they do shows, they're smart, they can do tricks.
It's like otters. Oh, look how adorable, otters are so cute. Until you watch a documentary about what otters do in the wild with the young ones.
I think dolphins are still worse, but...
I feel like in nature, so many things where if you just spend, I want to say the average amount of time with them, you'll be like, oh, this is adorable. Like ducks. Ducks are adorable, right? They go... And then they come running over and then they wiggle their little butts and they're like all round and cute and they eat the old bread and then maybe they go on your shoelaces or something like this. And then you go to Wikipedia or any other place where you learn about this and you learn how most ducks do procreation. Then you will never look at a group of ducks the same way again. At least otters hold hands when they're sleeping so they don't drift apart. It cancels everything.
True. It's not creepy if you're cute. Haven't we had that discussion quite often?
It's creepier because they're also cute. I feel like otters are one of those animals where like they are peak adorable, like the whole like drifting like this. But you know how they like to like sometimes take stones and smash them against each other for like they do with oysters? Yeah, they also do that with other things. And you go, that's fucked up.
Animal world is weird. But yes, bread is indeed not good for ducks, so don't feed them bread.
Yes.
Do you have grapes? Was not a question, it was a demand.
A man walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to the... No, a duck walked up
it's all
to
good
a
when you're
lemonade
cute.
stand and it said to the man running the stand,
like you can't...
Hey, bum, 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 got any Tifa?
You can't commit crime when you're cute.
Because it wouldn't occur to you as a thought, or because you believe cute people or animals should automatically be forgiven?
No, that's the whole thing, like with the main character guy that plays in You, the stalker dude.
Oh, yeah, the whole like...
Joey, I think his name is. Like,
it's not stalking if a character is hot and cute, then
exactly.
It's just, oh, he's so interested in me. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the same thing with animals. They can't commit all of these things when they're cute.
It's not genocide, it's just
playing.
An otter.
They're just playing.
It's just an otter. Notebook page 42.
At first, I thought Ooishi's theory that the Sonozaki family banished Satoshi-kun from Hinamizawa and looked after Satoko in return was bogus. But thinking about it now, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. After all, Satoko.
While Tifa is recovering, I stalled there for a second because I know far-fetched is an expression, but every time without fail when I say that's far-fetched, or I read it somewhere, or somebody says it, in my mind I see the Pokemon.
Far-fetched?
Yeah.
Far-fetched.
With a leak. Like, every single time. Same. Yes. My brain has been Pokemon coded. If I got caught in a crime, I would bat my little eyelashes, hold my hands behind my back, and grind my shoes into the pavement.
It wasn't me. Police officer.
I didn't kill 20 people in cold blood. Good luck with that. I hope I just spat everywhere.
Ew.
But are you cute enough? I think the trick in life is to find out over time where you fall on the cuteness scale. Like, how cute are you? How much can you get away with? Thankfully, I wasn't blessed with that, so I learned early on that life has consequences.
I mean, I don't remember with which criminal it was exactly, but there was a murderer that obviously killed people, But there was a murderer that was put away and he was pretty good looking. And there was like this interviewer afterwards was like, well, everyone deserves a second chance, so he should get released after X amount of time. Shouldn't be too hard on him, whatever. But this was a good looking guy. But then in like a history interview, the same person with someone else who was apparently not as good looking was like, no, murderers should never go free again. I want to know why this one should go free.
There is bias, absolutely, based on the looks of somebody. If you don't like the way somebody looks, you will feel a different way about them. I want to say that's human. I feel like the skill it takes, especially when I would think as a judge, is to realize my impression might give me some sort of idea of how I feel about this, but I need to look at the facts. Just because I don't like the way somebody presents themselves in public doesn't mean that they are a worse person, just because it doesn't do it for me. Meanwhile...
After all, Satoko Hojo started living with Rika Furude after Satoshi-kun's disappearance. Rika Furude isn't just a regular girl. She was the head of the Furude family, one of the 3 families. The head of the Kimiyoshi family is Rika Furude's guardian. The Sonozaki family probably couldn't step in due to having been officially opposed to the Hojo family, but Satoko Hojo is in the custody of the 3 families now. What I don't get though, if they really wanted to take care of her, they could have still passed them some money in this situation. Because if there's one thing we've learned is that Rika and Satoko were struggling. Like they had to actually budget, take care of the money they spent, which means they didn't have a lot.
You lost me, sorry, I was thinking about what you just read. Can you start over?
That they say that the Sonozaki family was taking care of Satoko by putting her together with Rika. Because they couldn't get involved directly after being opposed to the family, so that was their solution.
Oh, like that, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like they could have then still helped them if they really wanted to take care of them by giving them some money.
No, I think all of this is bullshit, honestly. Like,
if that is the case.
There is so much fear rising about all of this. Like, the fact that Satoko now gets to live with Rika is actually by the grace and the mercy of the Sonozakis. Is it though? Like, is it really though?
They could have easily told Rika to stay away. Or Rika.
Yes, Rika.
Yeah, they could have easily told her to stay away. And forbid them from living together.
Oh, this is also complicated. It's making my head hurt.
Even though the Hojo family was severely ostracized during the dam conflict, Satoko Hojo was now under protection. It seems as though only Satoko was exempted from blame. Why was she spared even though Satoshi-kun wasn't?
Yeah, and why wasn't she... Actually, was she always spared? In chapter 3, she was among the missing people together with Teppei when they didn't find her body.
No, she was dead.
She was missing along with Teppei. She was not confirmed dead. Trust me, I remember that.
Okay.
In chapter 1, she didn't die. In chapter 2, I think she did.
Wasn't she in the well?
Yeah. I know they said Rika was there. I don't remember about Reina and Satoko. I think both of them as well.
No, Reina wasn't in there.
So then
Reina was...
True. It was just Rika and Satoko.
Did the chapter end with Reina being alone basically in the city after...
No, the chapter ended with Keiichi getting a visit from the spirit of zombie Mion.
Yeah, but true. But wasn't there still a talk in chapter 2 between him and Reina?
No,
that they would need to live on for their friends? Which chapter was that then?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think that happened. I don't recall that.
That absolutely happened.
I don't think so.
That absolutely did happen.
I think you're making stuff up.
Also, good thing I did make a save last week. With your word, just before the end of the chapter, we actually seem to have saved right in the middle.
Yeah, but I decided when to save.
Yeah, but it was pretty in the middle.
No, I chose the perfect moment because I remember when we did, I think it was Psycho sending the facepalm emote like, ugh!
Yeah, but after I was saying that we have to save.
Therefore, perfect moment. The more cliffhanger hurts, the more necessary it is.
Are the chapters from here on
Getting longer
again?
Yes, 100%. You can already tell.
Yeah, but this could have just been an exception.
And I can tell you that, at least according to the Steam achievements, we should now be just about halfway through. We've unlocked 7. One is... No, there's only 14, we're halfway through. Chapter-wise, and I don't know about length. Because one is for the all-cast review, and one is for reading all tips. That's always the case. At least it's been so far, I didn't check the achievement descriptions.
Can't remember. Well, we'll see.
We will find out.
It probably will be a bit longer from now.
Yes. And I feel like they did the same thing in like chapters 1 and 2 especially. Where the first parts of the game were faster.
I hope we learn in this chapter what actually happened to Satoshi. Like, proof.
No, it's not gonna happen. I don't think so. I think we might never actually learn or get a confirmation of what happened to him. Also, again, at this point, does that matter? Until we learn why there can be the events of chapters 1, 2, 3 and 4, does it really matter?
It's not that it really matters, it's that I would like to know.
Yeah, but will you actually know, like, how do I put this? Spoilers. Spoilers for the Zero Escape series. If you haven't played those, or if you're interested in them, if you don't know the story, as long as this is up, maybe avoid us, mute us, whatever. You remember the Zero Escape games. You remember especially Virtue's Last Reward with all the different timelines branching out. Assuming there are 4 different multiverses. So chapter 1 stands by itself in a different timeline, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 happened. If in chapter 5 we learn that in chapter 5 Satoshi actually moved to Japan and lived a healthy, happy, productive life after leaving. That's cool to know, but will that change anything about the informations for chapters 1, 2, 3 and 4?
Probably not, but you can ask that question with the majority of things.
Yes, which is what annoys me.
Like the one big question that needs to be answered is how does it all connect?
Now I can take this down again. Yes, first question, how are the chapters actually connected? And then, what is, if, assuming, my voice is now breaking from this. Assuming that somehow all the chapters are the same timeline, which seems impossible at this point, but just assuming they are, then what is the actual information? Is it what is the same, or is it what is different? I would imagine it's what is the same between all of them, because if we go with what is different, it kind of becomes like piecemeal, like everybody can make their own, like, choose your own adventure, what did happen in Higurashi, which I'm not opposed to, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like the first idea I would have. But if it turns out that yes, every chapter is just a different story of the events that happened in Hinamizawa, when the information we get later on doesn't retroactively change anything for the previous chapters, and vice versa.
I think we're not gonna get an answer until how it all connects until the very last chapter.
Possibly.
Somehow don't see that being answered here.
Possibly.
We shall see. And I say who we shall also see is Mami. I should have continued talking. Figured you would fall in, but you had your mouth full. Who is playing? I can't even see.
I specifically said near the beginning of the stream that if I have anything swallowable in my mouth, I would swallow it because I don't want to have another coughing fit. So yeah, you could have avoided this.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, as per always, it's Tifa's fault. What Tifa is trying to say in a not very loquacious way.
Very
see
true.
what I did there.
Yeah.
Let's go rate Mami.
Deserved.
Who is playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
It was a little bit chunky, not very smooth. Had like bits in it.
That sounds disgusting. Like when you have like a smoothie or something, or any liquid that you just think you can just drink, like water, and suddenly there's chunks in it, like mystery chunks. It's like, that's not good. That sounds disgusting. If you can type like me, one second.
Did you type "call me millennial" or started typing?
I want to do the shout out thing. And for some reason, my brain is fried. So I started typing shout out, call me. Good thing I can copy and paste. If you cannot stick around for some reason, then please check out Mami whenever it's convenient for you, because it's excellent. There you go. See? Just stick to my little script that I have in my head, and everything will work out just fine. My brain is mush. My heart is torn apart. I hope Satoshi is doing well. I don't know what is happening.
Kind of sounds like a poem.
Like a haiku.
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. If only I knew how to count syllables efficiently, then I could come up with one, but if I ever speak in haikus, it's a complete coincidence. I'm not good at haikus.
Same. Not on accident, at least. Like if you actually focus on writing a haiku.
Even then I don't. I can't do it.
We used to have to do that exercise in school a lot.
Okay, fair. If I ever were to write a haiku, I would go to one of those haiku checker websites that tells me if I have the right amount of syllables in every line, because I can't do this as I read. You know what I can also not do as I read? Start the raid. This was your moment to press the button.
As you're right.
I don't know. It's been a long night, people. Thank you everybody for Higurashing with us. We'll be back on Sunday with more of this. If you can stick around for it, we'll see you then.